West Central in the second week of the season. Both teams coming in at 1-0. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, this is going to be two different offenses going here tonight between the Pierre Governor and West Central Trojans team. One will air the ball out, and obviously Pierre knows that that's going to be their team. The other is going to run, and run some more here tonight.
Yeah, West Central is very much of a run-oriented team. In fact, they only passed the ball twice last week, and so they are going to be run-heavy. They moved this year into a flex bone. Some people might call it almost a wing T kind of offense. So they're going to be very run-heavy oriented. On the other side of the ball, Pierre is not going to deviate very much from what they've done last year. 10 seniors in the starting lineup on offense. But the sophomore quarterback in Lincoln Keenholz, you wondered how they were going to game plan for last week, really didn't change much from last year.
No, and Keenholz last week went 16 for 24, 194 yards. His longest pass went for 29 yards, but he had a touchdown pass to Aaron Booth. Reagan Bolway caught 5 for 102, and he's the security blanket. You know, we've gone from Jack Maher a couple years ago to Reagan Bolway here for the last 2 years. He's that go-to guy when everything kind of breaks down and you still got to find someone to throw the ball to. Reagan Bolwig's open 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, big target, great hands, runs good routes. He is, and he's just tough to cover. You can't really cover him with a linebacker because he probably outruns him if you try to put a defensive back on him. And the defensive backs for West Central are not very big. And so if you try to cover him with a defensive back, he's probably going to outsize him.
One quick thing before we get to our interviews here, our pregame interviews. The offensive line, though, for West Central is a big offensive line. They combined for it to be 6 feet, 237 pounds. For here, it's 6'1", 231. So the offensive line is going to be big and powerful for this West Central Trojan team.
Yeah, and that'll be an interesting matchup. And this is a game that especially when West Central has the ball, is all going to be decided in the trenches. Last week, we saw that the Pierre front seven, especially the front three of Gunnar Gehring, Preston Taylor, and Jacob Beestrom, really controlled and manhandled the Sturgis offensive line. If they can do this, if they can do that same thing again tonight, it's going to be a long night for the West Central offense.
Pierre Governors and West Central Trojans come up here in just a little bit. We'll step aside and come back with our pregame interviews. First, we'll start with the coach Benedetto of the West Central Trojans. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.
word I have is that the electric wire underneath that tape will be turned on at 7 o'clock.
And we welcome you back here to Hollister Field as we are set for football as the Pierre Governors will take on West Central. And to cut the interview short, we have to start our pregame a little bit earlier next week, Greg, as you get a chance to listen to both coaches instead of just a 1.5 as the Pierre Governors take on West Central. And the Governors will kick to begin the ball game, and West Central will go from right to left on your radio dial. As the on YouTube as well, they'll go from right to left on your screen. And the Governors with Colin Miller will head out to kick this one away, as it will be Dierks back. Colin and Dierks will be back deep for West Central to receive the opening kick. Wind blowing in the direction for the Governors here to open up. At least the goalposts on the left side has those flags moving. The goalposts on the right side of the field, well, they're sitting pretty still. So a little bit of wind here tonight, Greg.
Yeah, and just a couple of differences this year. The Activity Association made some decisions to adapt to the COVID changes. The player boxes are 30 yards wider. They go from the 15 to the 15, and the chain gang is on the home side of the field this year.
Miller will kick it away. We're underway here for the home opener for the Pierre Governors, as it will be West Central receiving right up the middle, as it is a Dierks that will get past the 25 to about the 28-yard line. We do have a injury for the Governors, and getting right back up, though. So as it was a Luke Langang that was slow to get up, it'll be at the 28-yard line, where West Central had a good return, and where they'll start with their quarterback in Gavin Cook, who threw 2 passes and went for 14 yards, and that's all they had. And really, for Coach Benedetto, he's not going to want a whole lot more passes out of that. He might want less here tonight. They'll have that flex bone option as in motion a receiver. One of their tight ends will come in motion, but it will be a handoff right up the middle to Ryan Healy, who had the most carries for West Central, and that went to the 35-yard line, a gain of 6. Gain of 8, and it'll bring up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, Healy was the guy. He's the kind of the fullback, if you'd call him. He only checks in at about 5'10" and 180, but he kind of plays the fullback position in this flex bone offense, so he gets the first read in a lot of these sets.
As is Isis in motion. They'll hand it off again and up the middle for very little gain right towards those first down sticks. Healy gets 1, and it's now 3rd and 1, and a chance for the Governor defense to get a quick stop here in the first minute of this ball game.
Yeah, and you heard Coach Steele talk about the key guy on defense for the Governors tonight is probably going to be Preston Taylor, the nose tackle, right in the middle of that Governor defensive line. If he can control the middle of that line and get some push and disrupt this flex bone offense, the Governors should have a good night.
Isis will come in motion again. The handoff up the middle and a first down for West Central, as they'll get out to the 43-yard line. As I believe that was Healy again. They got the handoff. It is Healy, and it's a first down here for West Central, their first of the game. The first time that we've seen a first down be got by a team other than the last play of the first half for Sturgis.
Yeah, and again, right now, West Central doing a nice job. 2 of the first 3 plays, they've gotten good positive yardage on those fullback dives.
From under center, very low to the ground is that quarterback in Gavin Cook, and I believe Cook kept it this time, and so we'll run it straight up the middle to about the 48-yard line, a gain of about 5, and to bring up 2nd and 5 for the Trojans, and they've had a pretty good drive here to open up play. Nobody scored in the first quarter against Pierre last year, and this is the best drive we've seen against the Governors back since 2018.
Yeah, and again, this offense is really predicated on just ground and pound. It's 3, 4, 5 yards at a time, and if you're not disciplined as a defense and you don't carry out your responsibility, they will break a big one.
From under center again, here is Idness in motion. Cook will hand it off up the middle near the first down marker, past the first down marker. It's assignment football for the Pierre Governors, and right now the offensive line is really given these guys in the backfield. Healy again gets out of the 45-yard line, so this offensive line has done a really good job for West Central to push the ball across the 50.
And what they've done is they've brought the wing back on the left side in motion. They have gone right with their running attack all night long so far.
This again in motion. As Cook will keep it this time. And the first time the Governors have really stuffed West Central. As I believe McGuire Rasky got in the backfield first. It's 2nd and 10. No gain on that play from Cook.
Yeah, and that was, again, West Central tries to go to the right, and Cook's a little banged up. He comes off the field with his helmet off, and so we got a substitute quarterback coming on, at least to run one play for West Central.
As it will be Justin Zerpel that will come on. Zerpel got a couple of carries as well in that win last week against Custer. Zerpel went 8 for 84, so he's prone to run the football well and can run the ball well. Zerpel will have not the right play. He couldn't find anybody to go to. It's going to be a loss of a couple here from Zerpel in the backfield. And so that's going to push him all the way back to the 46, 47-yard line. So it's 3rd and 12 here for West Central.
And one of the real Achilles heels of running this kind of flex bone offense is, like I said, it's really predicated on gaining 3, 4, 5 yards at a crack, just positive yards every time you touch the ball, but it's really not meant to gain long yardage. So if you can put a team like West Central in 2nd and long, 3rd and long, you've won and done what you needed to do.
As Isis comes in motion, he'll stop and go back to his position, as I believe Cook is back out on the field for this 3rd down and 12. Moving to the left side, the first time, Cook will keep it himself, and he's got nowhere to go. He'll pick up 1 yard, and it's now 4th and 11. And the first time they run the ball left goes for 1 yard, and here is a spot where when you're West Central, you haven't picked up 11 yards in a play yet. It looks like they're going to go and put the ball away, and they're going to play some field position with the Pierre Governors. So that drive will stall out 8 plays in, and where it looked promising, crossing the 50-yard line for West Central, all of a sudden turns into having to put the ball away after losing another yard.
Yeah, and really the key play on that last series of downs was that first down play where they stopped West Central for little to no gain.
Isis is the punter, low snap, and he'll try and go end over end. McGuire Rasky will let it hop. Is going to take a nice hop for West Central. It will stay inside the 20-yard line. Right around the 15, and that's where the Governors will take over on their first possession. So Pierre is able to get that stop after an 8-play drive stalls out at the Governor 46. And now the Governors with Lincoln Keenels out on the field for their first offensive drive, as it'll be Jace Beestrom, Houston Lundy, Gunnar Gehring, Jacob Larson, and Denton Beck, the 5 offensive linemen. Lincoln Keenels with McGuire Rasky and Colin Bergman in the backfield. Booth, Bullwing, the tight end, and Zach Lettler, the other receiver. 3 receivers to start out. Rasky is out as a receiver. Empty backfield here on 1st and 10 from the 16. Keenels look to pass. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to take off with it. Keenels is out to the 20 to the 25. Will get hit out of bounds. And it will be a gain of about 9 or 10 for Lincoln Keenels on the first play for the Governors.
Yeah, and Govs went off unbalanced line to the near side of the field with 3 receivers that side of the field, and rollout pass for Keenholz, didn't see anything, and I think he's under pretty strict orders. If you don't see anything right away in a rollout, just pull it down and get what you can, and that's what he did that time.
Rasky will go up the middle on his first run. He's trying to barrel through and carry a guy with him, but he's going to pick up just a couple of yards, but it is good enough for a first down. It was a gain of 9 from Keenholz. And from the 25-yard line to about the 28, a gain of 3 from McGuire Rasky on his first run. He had 129 yards on 19 carries in that first game. With 6:40 left to go here in the first quarter. First drive for the Governors. 1st and 10 from their own 28. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers out to the left side. Rasky will go out in motion as Keenholz with a design run. He'll spin off 1 tackler. He'll get thrown to the ground just past the 30 to the 31, a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 2nd and 7 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and that's that design quarterback draw that we saw Garrett Stout run to perfection multiple times over the last couple of years. Rasky goes in motion to the left, tries to draw that linebacker out away and take him to the sidelines, and Keenholz had a nice hole up the middle and picked up a couple of yards on the play. Under
6 to go, halfway through this first quarter. The Governors are just running their 4th play of the ball game. pistol formation with Rasky in the backfield behind Keenels. The handoff to Rasky. He's met at the line. He was able to slip underneath two different tacklers and get to the 35-yard line. A gain of 4 for McGuire Rasky. And talk about keeping the gravity low, keeping the gravity really low. I mean, he was almost on all fours, taking his way to the 35 for a gain of 4.
Yeah, like you said, he slipped under a couple of tacklers and actually put a hand on the ground and was able to slide underneath both tacklers and still keep his balance and then regain himself, was able to churn for a couple of extra yards on the play and put the Governors in 3rd and short.
Here's 3rd and 3 for the Governors. Bunching everybody up to the line. Empty backfield here. Keenel's trying to get West Central to jump off line. 3-4 is the defense here for West Central. You might see a 4-3 come up too. They have a Bandit as one of their guys on defense. Keenels will take it to the left side. He's going to try and pick it up on the ground. He's out to the far sideline, and he's going to dive towards the 40-yard line to about the 39. Should be enough for a first down. Nathan Nas pointing that he's got a first down, and the Governors do have that first down, a gain of 4 for Lincoln Keenels.
Yeah, and again, the Govs really went to deep into the play clock. They were trying to figure out exactly what kind of defense West Central was going to run. They went deep into the play clock, put Brueggemann in motion as a lead blocker. Keenholz follows him across to the far side of the field and picks up the first down on the play.
2 receivers out to the right side. Bullwig, the tight end, on that right side of the line. Keenels will roll to his right, throw on the run. That goes over the top of Brueggemann, almost intercepted, I believe, by Eidsness. It was Eidsness that was there, went right through his hands, and the first pass of the ball game for either team goes incomplete and nearly was an interception, so a 2nd and 10 for the 39.
Yeah, both receivers, Brueggemann and Bullwig, were stacked next to the line tight and came out and both ran out routes. Brueggemann just underneath, and it went through his hands, and luckily it wasn't intercepted.
Empty backfield here on 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line. 4:34 to go here in the first quarter. Keenels tries to avoid the sack and couldn't keep his balance, and he falls down inside the 35-yard line back to the 33. And is Chase Olson that is there.
Carter Sandholm.
Carter Sandholm.
Yep, Carter Sandholm is there for the sack, and it's going to be 3rd down and long, loss of 6 here from Keenels.
Yeah, Sandholm, the 6 foot, 215-pound senior starting defensive end, and now the Governors are facing 3rd and long. Governors' offense maybe built a little more to pick up a 3rd and 15, 3rd and 16 that this is.
Rasky will go in motion, play action. They'll throw it to Rasky on the flat, and it's too far in front of him, and it'll fall incomplete. And the Governors will have to punt the ball away. Both teams will punt the ball away in their first possession. With 3:54 to go here in the first quarter, this one's been a quick-moving first quarter, and West Central is about to get the ball back for their second possession here after the punt coming from Zach Lettler.
And that's probably what you're going to see, especially the West Central. They run the ball a lot, so you're not going to have a lot of clock stoppages with incomplete passes. I mean, as long as they stay in bounds, that clock is going to continue to run, and this could be kind of a quick ball game tonight, John.
As Lettler will get the punt, goes off the right foot, and it'll take a Governor hop, and it'll roll inside the 40. Didn't look too promising at first when it came off the foot of Lettler, but he's able to get all the way down to 39. So trying to play some field position here with the West Central Trojans, as it looks like we will have a heat timeout, as if we have played 3:44 left here in the first quarter. We have no score. We'll step aside for a minute. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field after the heat timeout, Governors and Trojans are tied 0-0 with 3:44 left to go here in the first quarter.
Yeah, quick update. Pierre Governor Soccer, the Pierre Governor ladies lost 6-0 to Rapid City Stevens early in the second half. Pierre Governor boys team is down 3-0 to Rapid City Stevens.
We will have the game against Rapid City Central tomorrow morning. 9 o'clock will start kickoff of that girls contest, and then the boys will play at 11 o'clock. You can hear both right here on today's KCCR, KCCR.com, and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. From under center, Isis will go in motion to his left. They'll pitch it to Isis on the left side, and he has been in the backfield and hung up enough where he's going to pick up maybe a yard to the 39. As Isis on his first carry will pick up just one.
Josh Rouse coming through from his linebacker position just disrupted the play. And again, when West Central has come to the near side of the field, to the left side of their formation, they have struggled to run the ball. When they found success, they've gone the other way. So we'll see if that's a formula, if that West Central continues to exploit going forward.
And again, this is like an Army-Navy type running game here for option game for West Central. So we're going to see them run the ball nearly all night long. We'll hardly see them pass the ball at all, as it will be Cook that will keep it this time. As on the first option, did not give it to Healy, and then got it to pass the 40 to the 42, near 43. So a gain of about 3 or 4, and it'll bring up third and a medium for West Central.
And this is probably going to be a night of field position and ball possession, and probably will come down to which team makes the fewest mistakes tonight. Because again, West Central runs the ball almost exclusively. That really runs right into the strength of this Pierre Governor defense this year.
2:20 to go here in the first quarter. 3rd and 6 from the West Central 43. Isaacs will go in motion to his right. He'll stop and go back to his position. We'll get a new play coming from Coach Benedetto and that offensive crew for the Trojans. And we will have a whistle. It looks like it's going to be a delay game. As there's no play clock here at Hollister Field, so the mental clock's got to be going off, but also the back judge is going to be sitting there with his arm up in the air, counting it like he would be like a basketball referee in a 5-second or 10-second violation. And Cook just didn't see him.
Yeah, and what they did was West Central took the near side wingback, put him in motion, got him all the way back right behind the quarterback, and then he stopped, reset as they recalled the play, and by the time they did all that, they just ran out of time. And now Cook went all the way to the sidelines to get this play, and we'll see if they have trouble getting this one off.
3rd and 11 now from the 38. Cook will keep it on the keeper. He'll try and get out to the 45, and he won't get past the 50 inside the Governor territory. And from 3rd and 11, it's going to be Cook that's going to pick up 13 yards. And his first down for West Central. They had 3 receivers out to the right side, something that maybe the Governors weren't really ready for defensively. And on that play, Cook was able to take it 13 yards for a first down.
Yeah, and after the initial dive in by the fullback Healy, Cook just kept it and came around the right end and was able to have a fair amount of space out there on the right side. And so they've had success going right all night long so far. The Governors are going to have to figure that out. As
Cook will take it to the right side again and to the fullback and straight up the middle for nearly a gain of 10. As it was Zerpel that got the handoff, and it's enough for a first down, a gain of 10 for Zerpel. And it's a 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line here now for West Central. This is as far deep as they've gotten against the Governors with 1:05 to go in the first quarter.
And again, to really beat back this West Central offense, Pierre's got to win 1st and 2nd down, and they haven't done that so far on this drive.
As Cook will keep it himself, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. Reagan Bolwig is there first to throw him backwards, as it'll be maybe a gain of half a yard. And it'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line, so no gain.
Yeah, and on that play, when Cook got tackled, his helmet actually came off, so he's actually got to go to the sidelines for a play. And so Zerpel, the backup quarterback, is now in running another play, and the last time Cook had to go to the sidelines, they had a challenge with that play and lost a fair amount of yardage.
And there's only 15 seconds left to go in this first quarter, but they still have to run another play. So the Gabbard came into the game to replace Cook. Zerpel will go under center with 8 seconds to go, and here in the last 5-7 seconds, a timeout's going to be called, and West Central is going to take that timeout. So, there's only 7 seconds left, so it's not like, and it's only the first quarter, I should say. So being 2nd and 15 going into the second quarter instead of being 2nd and 10, you burn a timeout, 7 seconds left. It's not like it's at the end of the half where you say, well, let's just take the penalty, one more play, and we're good. They had to take that timeout so they didn't get pushed back those 5 yards.
Yeah, and if you have to burn a penalty in the first or burn a timeout in the first half, that's not as big a deal as maybe trying to save one in the second half. But you can just tell that play calling just maybe isn't quite in the flow right now, especially with that backup quarterback Zerpel in the game when Cook has to go to the sidelines. And I don't know if he's got an equipment issue with his helmet, but he's had to go to the sidelines twice in the first 2 drives.
This will be the 6th play of the drive for West Central. They had a 3rd and 11, and that was the longest play from scrimmage so far, that 13-yard game on 3rd and 11 for West Central that took it into Pierre Governor territory. And this is, Greg, you said the offense that West Central runs is for the Governor, is the strength of the Governor defense. But right now, West Central has done a really, really good job of of making the Governors look a little confused out there.
Yeah, and what you've seen is, and we've talked about it already, is they are really doing a nice job of running hard over that right side behind Dylan Ketchum, who's 5'10", 260-pound junior, and Braden Taub Jensen, 230-pound senior.
Eisness will have a false start penalty called on West Central. So Eisness went in motion, but jump on the line, and we'll see who is going to be on. Actually, no mic for the referee, as it is 2nd and 15. He got spoiled last week with the Mike and Sturgis. But 2nd and 15 from the 43-yard line with 7 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. And you let that offensive line, Josh Livermore, the left tackle, Lauren Jacobson, the left guard, Carter Sandholm, the center, Braden Traub Jensen, the right guard, and Dylan Ketchum, the right tackle. They combine, or I guess they average, 6 feet, 237 pounds. It's big offensive line for West Central. Eidson will go in motion in the left side. He'll get the pitch, try and take it out the left side, gets outside the tackle. He's still on his feet, and he'll be wrapped up and thrown down, a gain of about 17 for a first down for Dylan Eisness, Derek Eisness, I should say, and it's going to end the first quarter from 43 down to the 25-yard line, a gain of 18 on 2nd and 15. And that will be where we stop the first quarter. And the Governors will have KCCR.com back after this with the start of the second quarter.
10 from the Governor, 25.
No score after the first quarter between Pierre and West Central. Joe Winkler alongside Greg Dean. 1st and 10 from the 25 to start this second quarter here for West Central.
A couple of quick score updates from around 11 AA. Yankton and Dakota Valley are tied at 7. 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Mitchell is up over Sioux Falls Christian 6-0 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Now moving from left to right on your dial. Eidsitz will go in motion to the left side. The handoff will go up the middle. And a quick gain for Zerpel of about 3 or 4.
The handoff goes to number 6, Justin Zerpel.
And it'll get to 21. So a gain of 4 and a 2nd and 6 here for West Central. Going to be the 8th play of the drive coming up for West Central. They had 8 plays last drive where it stalled out, but now they're nearing the red zone here to start the second quarter.
New offense installed for West Central this year going into this flex bone, and we heard Coach Benedetto in another interview earlier this week talk about the fact that this is kind of an equalizer, kind of an offense. If they have to play against teams like Pierre or 11AA, or if there's a change in classifications, play against bigger schools, this kind of offense is a kind of an equalizer going forward.
Gain of 1 for Serpol as they try to go the left side, and that defensive line playing a little bit better here to start this second quarter. And it's now 3rd and 5 from the 20, right at the edge of the red zone. Minute gone by here in the second quarter. We're scoreless here between Pierre and West Central, the home opener at Hollister Field for the Pierre Governors. On the only home game for the first 4 that they play here this 2020 season. Isitz will go in motion as it will be a pitch out to the left side for Isitz, and he is undercut at around the 19-yard line. Maybe lost a yard back to the 21, but it's right at the 20 where they're going to spot it. It's now 4th and 4 from the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and Cook was met by about 3 Governors down on the edge of that defensive line. He made the pitch, and luckily I didn't see who the Governor was who made the tackle. It had to be the cornerback on that backside, but wrapped up Idness right away and wrapped him up for no gain.
They're going to go for it here on 4th and 4 from the 20-yard line from under center. Cook will take the snap. He's going to look to pass. Coming from the edge. The ball is loose and on the ground. The Governors are going to have possession no matter what. Reagan Bolwig around the side comes through and knocks the ball loose from Cook. And the Governors will take over on downs. And what a defensive stop for the Governors as West Central is really driving the ball in that last possession.
Yeah, we saw that a lot over the last couple of years. It's something Sean Lewis really likes to do is if that front 3 of Gehring, Beestrom, and Taylor can control the offensive line, it really allows the defense to bring those linebackers of Bolwick and Rasky off the corners and really give them a free run, and that's what happened that time.
Rasky will try and make his way up the middle. It was 1st and 10 from the 26-yard line. They're going to rule that it was a recovered fumble for the Governors. So the turnover goes to West Central, and on 1st and 10 for the 26 to the 28-yard line for McGuire Rasky, and it's 2nd and 8. It was a 6-play drive for the Governors. 8-play drive that stalled out for the Governors. McGuire Rasky so far 9 yards on 3 carries. Empty backfield here on 2nd and 8 from the 28-yard line. 2 receivers out to the left side. Low snap. Keno's quick throw to the right side. Catch is bobbled, and it will be caught by Colin Bergman, the first reception of the ball game. And Bergman gets to the 31-yard line, a gain of 3, so it's now 3rd and 5 for the Governors.
Yeah, and just an out route for Brueggemann off of his tight end position on the far side of the field, and bobbled it, but had the wherewithal to stay with the catch and caught it and got a foot down before he went out of bounds on the far side and gets the Governors into third and medium at about 3rd and 5.
McGuire Rasky had to change jerseys. He's gone from 14 to 25. He's in the slot on the left side. As Lincoln Keenels will take the snap, he'll look over the middle, throws it for Bolwig off the left hand, unable to get the catch, and it will be 4th down. And it should bring up another punt here from the Governors as they are on their own 31-yard line.
We'll bring up 4th down.
And the sure-handed Bolwig, he made one-handed catch last week. It's hard to continually to do that every single time. That ball is maybe just a little bit thrown off.
Yeah, and Keenels just let him just a little bit too far, and Bolwig was able to stick a paw up and almost brought that down, but when he tipped it up in the air and almost fell into the hands of a West Central defender.
High snap. Lettler's having trouble with it. He picks it up, and he is brought down inside the 20-yard line, right around the 15 or 16, and West Central is going to have themselves really good field position in the red zone to open up their 3rd drive to try and go up on the Governors for the first time since 2018.
And we talked about the team that makes the fewest mistakes is the one that may have the most success tonight. And so we have just seen both teams make mistakes. For West Central, it was on a 4th down, so it really didn't hurt them that much. That was a big play deep in Governor territory and a mistake for the Governors, and now West Central is deep and has a short field.
Healy will get the handoff. He'll go to the left side. He's going to try and get towards that pylon. He'll get out of bounds inside the 10, around the 5, maybe into the 4-yard line. It's going to be enough for a first down, a gain of 11, and it's 1st and goal for the West Central Trojans, a gain of 11.
Yeah, and Healy, again, the dive back just took the handoff. It actually got stacked up and right in the middle of the line, but he wasn't wrapped up and was able to bounce outside and picked up 10 yards after the initial contact.
8:45 to go here in the second quarter. The Governors have not trailed in a game since halftime of the state championship back in 2018. As Healy will get the handoff, he's trying to pull the pile forward as the offensive line is trying to push it as well. And it's going to be a gain of about 2 to the 3-yard line, and it's second and goal from the 3.
And I don't know what kind of kicker West Central may have. Braden Dursix is the kicker, but with a team that runs the ball like West Central does down inside the 5, you got to figure that this is probably 4-down territory for the Trojans.
Second and goal from the 3. 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Still no score from left to right from under center. As Cook will keep it. He's going to try and pound his way in. He is not there just yet as they get another yard, maybe to the 1-yard line, a gain of 2. And it's third and goal from around the 1-yard line.
And again, this is just smash mouth football from West Central right now. They're just pounding and controlling the line of scrimmage right now. That offensive line for West Central is doing a nice job, and for all the success the Governor defensive line had last week, they're meeting their match right now with West Central. It's toe-to-toe.
Cook from under center. Isis will go in motion. Quick handoff. Healy's got nowhere to go, and it's now 4th down as he's going to lose a couple yards back to the 3. A loss of 2 for Healy. And that defensive line broke through on the offensive line.
Yeah, and that was a blitz from the interior linebackers of the Governors. You saw Josh Rouse, Colin Brueggemann come right up the middle and really just stuffed Healy after he got that first handoff and just really didn't even have a chance. I mean, the Governors were right there right when that exchange was made, and for West Central, they're lucky that he was able to hold on to the ball.
Another 4th down here for West Central. Goal line, trying to get a goal line stand here for the Governors. 4th and goal from the 3 from under center. Cook, he'll pitch it on the left side for Eisnes. He's got nowhere to go. The Governors stand tall as they'll lose 2 yards back to the 5, and it's a big goal line stand for the Pierre Governors, and still are not trailing here yet in 2020.
Yeah, and big credit to Josh Rouse right there. He is a little dynamo out of that middle linebacker position. Rouse checks in at 5'10", 165, but he just came right through a gap in the middle of that line, and as West Central tried to pitch the ball and go to the left side, Rouse just took a shot right through the middle and really disrupted that play and got Eidsness around the ankles and brought him down, and the Governors avoided a bullet.
We have another heat timeout, 6:29 to go. We have no score here in the second quarter between the Pierre Governors and West Central Trojans. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com. Governors get the goal line stand that they're looking for. No score, 6:29 left to go here in the first quarter. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean.
Yeah, a couple of quick score updates. Yankton now has a 10-7 lead at the end of the first quarter over Dakota Valley. Mitchell and Sioux Falls Christian knotted at 6 late in the first quarter.
Keenol's for the pistol here on 1st and 10 from their own 9-yard line. It was a loss of 6 on that 4th down play. As Rasky will get the handoff up the middle, and that offensive line trying to push a little bit farther for Rasky. But he'll pick up a couple outside the 10, maybe the 12, a gain of 3.
Going off the bottom of the pile for West Central.
We called a game of 4 here for Rasky on that 1st down run.
And it took the Governor offense about a quarter to get going last week, and we'll see right now. This is a big drive right now, second drive of the night for the Governors from deep in their own territory.
Empty backfield. Keenol's will roll to his left. He'll throw on the run, looking for Rasky. The catch is made. Rasky will turn the other way. He's out to the 25-yard line of the 26. A gain of 13 for McGuire Rasky on his first catch. And a 1st down for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, just a rollout for Keenholz and just an out route for Rasky to the near side. And the catch was actually made about a 6-yard catch, but then Rasky avoided about 4 tacklers and was able to pick up about another 10 yards after the catch.
3 receivers out to the right side. Empty backfield here for Keenol's. Quick throw to the right side. Zach Littler will make the catch. He'll bounce off a tackler. He'll get hit going forward. He'll get out to about the 27-yard line, maybe the 28. A gain of about 2 for Zach Littler.
Yeah, just kind of that bubble screen that Steve Steele likes to run a lot. He'll put 3 receivers out to the far side of the field and bring the wide guy, in this case Littler, back underneath, and he was able to get a couple of yards, mostly after the catch on that play.
2nd and 8. Again, empty backfield here for Keenol's. Throws over the middle. Man is tipped. The ball is tipped. Getting knocked over was Colin Brueggemann, looking for a pass interference call, but the ball was tipped around. Eidsness had a chance for it. Colin had another chance for it. Isaiah Colin had a chance, but nobody was able to make the grab, and it's now 3rd and 8. Brueggemann had no chance as he got almost what in hockey terms and slew-footed from behind and got knocked over.
Yeah, Brueggemann was on the ground. Eidsness, if that ball wasn't thrown just a little bit high, Eidsness probably not only picks it up, but might have had a pick 6.
Keenol's here on 3rd and 8. He'll step up in the pocket. He'll get Joe to his right. He'll take off with it. He'll have enough for a 1st down as he gets right to the 41-yard line, or the 36-yard line. It's going to be really close. It might be 4th down here. The coaching staff for West Central saying it's 4th down, but we're going to have the chains be pulled out, and we'll see if Keenol's was able to pick up those 8 yards, all of those 8 yards, if maybe it was more 7 3/4 of a yard he picked up.
Yeah, this one's going to be close. I think they're probably going to be just a little bit short on the measurement, but again, an interesting twist in today's COVID world. Now, instead of the chain gang going onto the field, the officials come. In this case, the ball is almost all the way over on the far sideline where it's marked. The officials have to come over, get the chains, and do the measurement themselves.
You might have to get an index card out here to see if that's actually enough or not. It is enough for a 1st down. No index card needed. No Gene's territory for this one. As it's a 1st down for the Governors. A gain of 8 for Lincoln Keenol's. I just see that picture of him kind of that smirk that he always had. Gene's territory. Boy. Well, the Governors have enough for a 1st down. 1st and 10 for the 36. There's another one to knock off the bingo card.
I was going to say, if you wonder what you're talking about, just go to YouTube and look up Gene's territory index card. It is a funny scene in an NFL game from year ago, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Yeah, from a Sunday night football game, no less. Too. 1st and 10. From the 36-yard line, 4:55 to go and counting here in this 1st half with no score. 3 receivers out to the left side. Keenol's will go to his right, away from everybody on that side of the field, and it will be Keenol's getting to the 43-yard line, a gain of 7, and it's 2nd and 3.
Yeah, and a nice drive by the Governors so far. They've done a nice job just kind of being methodical and running some time off the clock and just doing a nice job in terms of working both sides of the field. They've come to the left side, they've come to the right side, and so we'll see if they can keep this up. Just again, Steve Steele mixing up the run and the pass, and we'll see if they can continue to find success.
Empty backfield here for Keenol's. He's flushed out of the pocket, rolling to his left, steps up the middle. He'll try and take a hit to make a play as he'll go out to the 45, a gain of 2 for Keenol's. It is now 3rd and 1 as he is now at 27 yards on 7 carries. He's 3 for 7 for 18 so far through the air. And it's a big 3rd-and-1 play for a 3rd-and-long one here for the Governors with under 3:50 to play in the first half.
Yeah, and what we haven't seen out of Keenholz so far is he hasn't really had to take a shot downfield. I mean, most everything he's thrown has been underneath through the first almost 6 quarters so far this year.
McGuire Rasky will get a big hole on 3rd-and-1. He'll take it past the 50-yard line into West Central territory for a first down, a gain of about 7. And McGuire Rasky has picked up a big 3rd down conversion here for the Governors.
Yeah, just a nice hole up the middle off the Governor offensive line. And again, now that Governor offensive line is starting to establish itself and just doing a very nice job in terms of opening some holes, allowing Keenholz some time on those rollouts and giving him some time to throw when he has that opportunity.
Low snap. Keenholz will pick it up off the ground. He's going to roll to his right. He stays on his feet. He's out to the right side, and he'll be flushed out of the bounds, and it's going to be a gain of maybe a 1 or 2 here for Keenholz, and it'll bring up 2nd down, maybe right at that line of scrimmage. So no gain, 2nd and 10 here for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, a snap out of the end of the shotgun that just kind of landed right at Keenholz's feet, and when you do that, that just disrupts the whole timing of the play, and I'm not sure if that was actually maybe a designed run or not, because I think it kind of looked like maybe there was a little confusion in the backfield, and Keenholz just picked it up, rolled to his right, and took what he could get out of the play, and was able to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
Pistol formation, 2nd and 10, handoff for Rasky. He'll bounce out of the right side, try and cut it back inside the hashes. He'll carry 4 or 5 West Central Trojans with him past the 40-yard line to the 39, a gain of 9, and his 3rd and very manageable here, 3rd-and-1 for the Governors.
Yeah, and much like the success that West Central was finding going to the right side, the Governors are finding that same success going to the right side as they're driving into the sun, going from right to left on your radio dial.
On 3rd-and-1, Rasky got the handoff, another 3rd down conversion for the Governors as he'll take it inside the 35 to about the 32, a gain of 7 for Rasky on 3rd-and-1. And the Governors have got another first down.
Yeah, and again, it took like we said earlier, it took about a quarter for the Governor offensive line to establish itself last week. They have done a very nice job. This is a very long and very extended drive, and now we got a motion penalty and probably an offsides penalty against West Central here.
Yep, for West Central is going to be Eric Bowden that went offside for the Trojans, and it'll be a 5-yard penalty, and so it's 1st and 5 for the Governors inside the 30-yard line around the 27. And that's a big penalty taken on West Central, and the Governors continue their drive as they get into free 5 yards. Play action, rolling to the right as Keenholz. He'll throw on the run. The catch is made by Bullwick as he's pushed out of bounds. His first catch of the night. And near the first down marker, past the first down marker. Gain of about 8 there for Reagan Bullwick.
Yeah, and just a huge drive for the Governors. I mean, taking over deep in your own territory at about your 10-yard line. They are now down in the red zone, and if they can score on this drive, this is a big momentum turn right before halftime for the Governors.
McGuire Rasky will take it straight up the middle. It was a 10-yard gain for Reagan Bullwig, and Rasky will get from the 18. They're in the red zone to the 14, a gain of 4 for McGuire Rasky. 40 yards on 8 carries. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. No score between West Central and Pierre. Pierre had to kick off to start the game, so they get the ball to start the second half. Keenholz with the clap, trying to get West Central to come offside. And now Keenholz with a receiver on each side will take the snap. Rasky at the handoff. He'll slip through the offensive line, bounce out to the right side, and McGuire Rasky is going to take it into the end zone for a touchdown. The Pierre Governors strike first with 101 seconds left to go in the first half. They finally break the scoreless tie, and Pierre has a 6-0 lead on a 14-yard run for McGuire Rasky.
And the Governors kept pounding and pounding and pounding the middle of that offensive line, and Rasky had a hole, and he got hit initially about as he got into the second level, but he never got wrapped up, kept his feet turning, saw daylight to the right side, was able to get there, and was able to score the touchdown and put the Governors up 6-0.
Colin Miller on for the extra point. That is up and good. The Governors lead 7-0. 1:41 to go here in the first half. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com.
Governors lead 7-0.
14 to play, 91-yard drive for the Pierre Governors. A 14-yard run on a guy who wears number 14 usually, now wearing number 25. He takes it in for the touchdown, and McGuire Rasky, his 5th already of the year. He had a 4th of his touchdown runs from last year in the first game of this season, and now he's got his 5th, and the Governors have a 7-0 lead as Karsten Miller, want to correct myself, Karsten Miller had the extra point. He's on here to kick it away for the Governors with a 7-0 lead here with 1:41 to go in the first half.
Yeah, and again, just a very dominating drive for the Governors, and really just established their physicality and hopefully are able to establish the momentum. And like you said, John,
as Karsten Miller is the last man trying to get it back, he slows up the returner for West Central, but he's going to take it all the way to the house as it is going to be for West Central. They're going to tie it up with Braden Dirks. And it's Dursix, and it's 1:27 to go, and it's 7-6, just like that. 98 yards on the return. And the Pierre Governors, who had the lead for less than 15 seconds, right now still have the lead, but an extra point away from having this one tied up.
Yeah, and we saw that on the initial kickoff, on the opening kickoff. West Central almost broke the initial kickoff up the middle, and that time Dursix came right up the middle, was able to find a hole, and once he got through the first 2 lines, he was able to then it was just a foot race, and Karsten Miller almost ran him down and was able to slow him up enough, but Dursix stayed on his feet and was able to go the rest of the way to the house.
And the extra point is up and good, and it is a tie game, 7-7 with 1:27 to go here in the first half. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com.
So the Trojans strike back.
A 98-yard return from Braden Dursix, and it is a 7-7 game with 1:27 to go here in the first half. The Governors will get the ball to start the second half, so here in the last 87 seconds, the Governors score here. They can put themselves up by 2 scores without West Central having the ball again.
Yeah, and we talked about how the Governors took a 14-play drive and just had established the momentum and really had it on their side, and that's just how quickly that pendulum can turn.
A squib kick. It'll roll back for Rasky to grab Josh Rouse to grab. He'll go out to the left side of the near side as he'll get out to the 35. So a good return there from Josh Rouse. And it's to the 36-yard line, and the Governors will have good field position here with 1:18 left. They have all 3 timeouts, so they don't have to be out to the outside trying to get a first down every single play. They don't have to go outside the hash marks. They can do what they want here in the first couple plays of this drive because they have the timeouts.
Yeah, and so they're not afraid to throw the ball. We'll see what happens. I mean, like we said, the Governors can eat up a lot of yardage fairly quickly and get at least potentially into field goal range. And we know that Karsten Miller has a big leg, and there's hardly any wind tonight. So you got to think that if the Governors can get down inside about the 20-25 yard line, maybe you give Miller a chance to kick a field goal and put the Governors up going into the locker room.
West Central took their second timeout. It is with 1:18 left to go here in this first half. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Governors, again, have all 3 timeouts, and as quick as this offense can go, obviously last year, this year, it's a little bit different, but this offense is still built to score quickly, and this is the time to kind of show it here in front of this home faithful who have come out to social distance but are spread all the way around Hollister Field. They're obviously the same look as we look across the field and can see a lot that have been tailgating, that have been out near their trucks, their vehicles, all the way around, and there's extra bleachers to make sure you can get as many people in here to watch this game and spread it out a little bit more. But the Governor faithful, hey, it's not stopping them from coming out here.
Yeah, good crowd on hand tonight. Beautiful night for football. If anything, it's maybe just a little warm, but kind of what you would expect for the first weekend in September.
The Governors will have a 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. 1:18 to go here in the first half. Empty backfield here for Lincoln Keenels to open up this possession. Governors have all 3 timeouts. Keenels from the snap. He'll throw to the right side, throws it high. Raskew is hit immediately. He was pushed in the back as soon as that ball got to his hands. And it'll go full incomplete, so it's 2nd and 10.
Mason Barron's on the coverage for West Central and just an out route in the flat for Rasky and Barron's had him well covered. Even if Rasky makes that catch, he's probably wrapped up right away.
So it's now 2nd and 10 from the 37 with 1:13 to go. Again, empty backfield here for the Governors. Low snap, and Keenels will pick it up, throw to the right side. Rasky will jump to make the catch. He'll spin off of one tackler. He'll try and get towards the first down marker, but he's going to get to the 45, and he'll bring up 3rd down, and they're going to try and go quickly as it's a gain of 8. So it's 3rd and 2.
Yeah, Governors have 2 timeouts left on this 3rd and short. We'll see if they can convert here. Likely would take a timeout coming out of this first down, at least until after the chains are moved.
Keenels on a design run, and he'll lose yards back to the 43-yard line, a loss of 2, and the clock will run. West Central can use that last time out if they want to try and get a couple plays, but their offense isn't really designed to try and score on one play. And they'll bring up 4th down, and I don't know if the Governors even have to punt the ball away. I don't think they really have to, and they might try and just go for it here on 4th down on the last play of the half.
Yeah, clock winding down under 15 seconds right now. We'll see if they...
Well, they're going to snap it, and they're going to go for it. Keenels will throw, looking for Rasky. It's going to be intercepted, and that's probably not as the worst play that possibly could have happened there. Eisnitz will get the interception, but they'll have it all the way back at their own 36-yard line, where if they would have fallen incomplete, it would have been a 1st and 10 inside the Governor territory with 7 seconds left.
Yeah, and that's almost like a short punt for the Governors. So like you said, John, even though it goes down in the book as a turnover, it actually benefits the Governors because they were able to pick up about 15 to 20 yards in field position on the play. So
it looks like the Trojans are going to take a knee, and they're going to go to halftime with a tie score at 7-7. We haven't seen this in a long time, that the Governors and their opponents are tied up at halftime. One knee, and that will take us to halftime. 7-7 here at the break at Hollister Field. The Governors and Trojans tied up, squared up at 7. Back in with halftime stats, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football, today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field at halftime, it is 7-7 between the Governors and the West Central Trojans. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean. And Greg, we are not even at 8 o'clock yet here on this night, and we are here at halftime. And that's what happens when you, have two scores between one score between each team, and a whole lot of runs, especially for one team who has yet to throw the ball at all tonight.
Yeah, and the only time that West Central tried to pass was a play that I think it was McGuire Rasky. It was Rasky or Bolway came from the backside and just really caught Gavin Cook, just blindsided him and just really knocked him off his feet, and so West Central has done a nice job running the ball, especially when they've run to the right side of their offensive line behind Dylan Ketchum, the 5'10", 260-pound junior, and Braden Traub Jensen, the 5'10", 230-pound senior. Now, on the flip side of that, the Governors have had success running to their right side. They've done a nice job, whether it's been Rasky or Keenholz on those design runs. They've done a nice job going to the right side as well. I think the one thing that I would take away as this game has worn on, and we didn't have a chance to talk about it in the pregame, but West Central has 8 kids that play both sides of the ball. And so you and I talked about it earlier today, that especially on a day when it was, let me check the temperature. Right now it is 83 degrees. There's going to be a fatigue factor that probably is going to set in for West Central as we get into the game, when you've got a number of kids who really just don't even come off the field. And so as this game wears on, and maybe we saw a little bit of that with that 91-yard drive over the back half of the second quarter for the Governors that ended in the Rasky touchdown.
As you look at the stats here so far for tonight, the Governors have 115 yards with 79 on the ground and 36 through the air, which equals 115. For West Central, they have just 59 yards on the ground, and they've got, have actually a little bit more, as didn't add up everything here, but it is for West Central a total of 85 yards on the ground for the West Central Trojans. But that's their game. They want those yardage to be pretty much their entire offense, and outside that 98-yard kick return, Pierre has done a good job at, for the most part, of stopping that offense. It's just been one of those things where, that one play, as you said, momentum is key. They got it on that touchdown run from McGuire Rasky at 14 yards after a 14-play drive, and just like that, it was taken away from them. Yeah,
and the one thing, and we've talked about it before, one thing that we've seen a lot out of Coach Steve Steele over the last, now in his 5th season here in Pierre, is he does a very good job of making in-game adjustments. And so I got to believe that in the locker room right now, the Governors are doing a lot of discussions about how do they continue to control the offensive line. They did a very good job of that in the second quarter. And then how do you stay disciplined on the defensive side? I think that you kind of have to get a taste of that flex bone offense, and West Central had, I think, more success in the first quarter than they did in the second quarter. So I think the Governors, especially as they have started running some linebackers, especially up the middle. We saw Josh Rouse come in and make a couple of big plays coming up the middle. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Colin Brueggemann or some others shooting out of those middle linebacker positions to try to disrupt the middle and disrupt the timing of that flex ball.
And this Pierre Governor defense, they want a challenge. They've got themselves a really good challenge here going into this second half, because now for every game last year, by the time we got to halftime, maybe it wasn't out of reach, but it was pretty much out of reach. There was not too many games where the defense really had to step up and help this offense out. But here in the going in the second half, that defense has really got to help the offense out going into this third and fourth quarter. Obviously, the offense gets the ball to start this third quarter so they can take the lead and kind of take a little bit of pressure off the defense. But this defense has got to continue to get the stops. And this is this is probably, for this defense the last 2 years, this is going to be the most stressful second half that they've had to deal with outside the state championship last year.
Yeah, and I think you knew coming in that this is going to be a real test for the Governors. This is going to be a good test because, like you heard Coach Steve Steele say in the pregame, even though the Governors won handily down in West Central last year, West Central was a team that got a lot better as the year went on, and were within 1 point of going to the state championship in Brookings last year because they got to the semifinal game, and they come in. I think they're ranked fourth in this week's 11A poll, if I remember right. I was just trying to look that up real quick, but they're a good team. I mean, and they return a lot of starters from last year, and you heard Coach Benedetto, we've heard him say during the week, they really began to figure out in his second year that these players are starting to buy in, and they've gotten a lot stronger, and you can see that. I mean, the size of that offensive line, I think, is testament to that.
And that's what Coach Benedetto said. It was because of playing Pierre last year that these guys were much more dedicated in the weight room, and because those guys are coming off the field and saying, "Man, what are they doing?" And Coach Benedetto said, "Hey, they're in the weight room. They're in the weight room all summer. They're continuing to get stronger. We've got to do that same thing if we want to be like them." And here, the weight room. I mean, Coach Benedetto saying, "All right, we've got a half of football, and look what we've been able to accomplish by working as hard as we did in the summer, getting in the weight room as much as you possibly could with everything going on with the pandemic." But they're a half of football. No team has been tied with Pierre here in 2018 in the state championship. The last time that any team has been anywhere close to Pierre at halftime, and that outside of maybe Brookings last year in the state championship, but we've just not seen a regular season game for Pierre against any team that has been close at halftime.
Yeah, and this is a good test for the Governors. I mean, you look at a lot of these young men on this sideline. They've enjoyed over the last year and a half, and first game this year, a 17-game winning streak. Some of these guys who are putting on varsity jerseys don't know what it's like to lose a varsity football game, and so this is a good test, and we'll see what kind of lessons they can learn. I'm sure there's and it's certainly not because Pierre didn't play a good first half. They actually played a pretty good first half. Just they're running up against a very good football team in the West Central Trojans tonight.
This is a really, really good football game that's tied 7-7 here at the break. As you are listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com, and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. We'll step aside. We'll come back with more of halftime stats and a couple score updates as well. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR, today's KCCR.com, and on YouTube at KCCR Sports. You're listening to KCCR Pierre, a Riverfront broadcasting station, as we welcome you back in at halftime. The Pierre Governors are tied with West Central as it is 7-7. John Wickler alongside Greg Dean, as Greg has plenty of score updates for you here at halftime.
Yeah, second quarter, Yankton will track the 11 AA games as well as a couple of the surrounding schools. Yankton leads Dakota Valley 23-15 in the second quarter. Mitchell leading Sioux Falls Christian 20-12 at halftime. Huron is leading Millbank 14-0 in the second quarter. Sturgis and St. Thomas More tied at 0 at halftime. Custer leads Spearfish. Custer lost to this West Central team 49-12 last week. They are now up on Spearfish 12-0 late in the second quarter. Brookings over Lennox 20-0 late in the second quarter. T in 11A, the other 11A school that the Governors will face in a couple weeks, they are beating Vermilion right now late in the second quarter 35-0. And neighboring schools, Sully Buttes leading Potter County in the first quarter 8-0. Bennett County leading Stanley County 20-0 in the second quarter.
And it is 7-7 here at halftime. We will step aside for one more quick break, and we'll have second half for you next. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, we are set for the second half as the Pierre Governors will get the ball to receive here in the second half, and they'll look to reclaim the lead. It is a tie football game, 7-7. It's been a long time since we've been in the second half, and the Governors have been in a dogfight outside of the two state championship games that we've called in the last couple of years. It's really been a long time since we've seen a regular season game or game here at Hollister Field where Pierre's in a dogfight.
Yeah, and again, we'll see what kind of adjustments Coach Steve Steele and the rest of the coaching staff have made at halftime. But this will be a good second half. And again, we'll just see what kind of legs that the West Central Trojans have underneath them. They are, we talked about the fact that they've got a lot of kids playing both ways, and with the temperature still hanging around 80 degrees as we get ready to start the second half. Governors get ready to it will receive the kickoff in the second half. We'll see what kind of legs the Trojans have underneath them and see if fatigue plays a factor at all.
It will be McGuire Rasky and Josh Rouse back deep to return the opening kick of the second half, as it will be Eisnes that will kick it away. And we are underway here in the second half from left to right. McGuire Rasky will catch around the 5-yard line. He's out to the 10, to the 15, to the 20, 25, up the middle to the right side. He's inside the hash marks to the 50, to the 45, to the 40. He'll try and cut it back to the 35, to the near the 30-yard line, to the 31. And the Pierre Governors have got themselves in a good spot to start this second half, as McGuire Rasky takes it to the West Central 31 to open up the third quarter.
Yeah, and again, the special teams play of the Governors comes to the forefront again. We saw that a lot last year, and a lot of credit. Guy who doesn't really want the spotlight, but special teams coach Jeff Schleckaway working his magic one more time. The Governors have great field position to start this second half.
McGuire Rasky will make one man miss. He gets inside the 30-yard line to about the 28, where he is taken down, and it'll be a gain of about 3. Bring up 2nd and 7. McGuire Rasky at 54 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown in that first half, up to 57 yards to open up the second half, as they have it inside the 30-yard line of West Central.
And again, a very clean game so far. Just a couple of penalties and no major penalties. We've had a couple of 5-yarders, delay a game, offsides, but nothing big so far on either side of the ball.
Rasky will get the handoff. He'll go outside the left tackle, and he'll hang on to the football as the West Central Trojans were trying to strip that one away from him. He got to the 25, a gain of about 3, and the stick'em's good for McGuire Rasky on that second down run.
Yeah, he got stood up and kind of turned around, and he had a couple of Trojans pawing at the ball, and you know, when you're stood up like that and you got guys hammering on you, it takes a lot to hold on to that ball. So credit to Rasky on that play.
3rd and 4 from the 25. From the pistol, another handoff for McGuire Rasky up the middle. He's met at the line, trying to get those legs turning, going forward to about the 21-yard line. Is it going to be enough? It's not. It's going to be gain another 3 again to the 22, so it'll bring up 4th and 1 here for the Governors.
Yeah, definitely 4-down territory right here, and again, this is probably the biggest play of the game so far for either team on 4th and 1 here early in the third quarter.
And an empty backfield here on 4th and 1. Keno's trying to bait West Central to go offside. 3 receivers out to the left side, none to the right, as Bergman is lined up on the right side of the line. Keno's will keep it himself. He'll get to around the 21 to the 20-yard line, and it should be enough for a first down. It's going to be close, as one of the Trojans players, Trop Jensen, lost his helmet. He'll have to go out, as he and Houston Lundy were battling, and we will call the chains out here, as we have a measurement. Actually, nope, they're going to say it's a first down. No measurement needed. A gain of 2 for Lincoln Keenels, and it's first down for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, with the empty backfield, you just spread that defense out and allows some running room. And Keenholz just found a crack in the offensive line and was able to get over the sticks for the first down.
Keenels will look to pass here on 1st and 10. He'll float it going towards the end zone, up in the air. It's a jump ball, and it's intercepted by Derek Eisnes again. His second interception. It goes for a touchback, and the offense can't get the job done to get them in the lead. And the defense has got to come up with a big stop. That's the second interception. And the last 2 passes from Lincoln Keenels. Eidsen's got both of them, too.
Yeah, and just a jump ball in the end zone, just a 50-50 ball. And you got 6'2" Derek Eidsenes from West Central going up against 6'2" Zach Lettler. And Eidsenes just had a little bit better position on the play. And with that, he's able to come down with the ball and the interception in the end zone, and so West Central will take over. They dodged a bullet right there, but they'll take over on their own 20-yard line after the touchback.
9:41 to go here in the third quarter. It is a tie football game, 7-7. From under center, it will be Cook. He's 25 for 25 yards on 8 carries. As it'll be out on the right side. A good gain on first down for West Central, as Cook will keep it to the 25, a gain of 5, and it's 2nd and 5.
Probably the first time all night we've seen West Central run a play where they didn't put one of their wingbacks in motion. They just went with a hard count that time, and Cook just took it and, again, worked the right side of that offensive line and got positive yardage.
Again, this option of offense for West Central, 2nd and 5, man in motion, and he'll pitch it out to the man in motion. That it for West Central, and a first down for the Trojans. Braden Dirksix will get out to the 40-yard line. A big gain of about 15 for Dirksix. We call it 14 as 1st and 10 to the 39.
Yeah, we really haven't seen West Central pitch the ball very much, either because that's been the design of the Pierre Governor defense. They've really either taken away that pitch back or this offense is just designed to go dives and then quarterback keepers. We just haven't seen them pitch the ball much other than a couple of sweeps. But so far, that was probably the most effective play. And again, working the right side of that Pierre Governor defense.
Dirksix had a catch for 12 yards. That was the only time he was involved in the offense last week. And that was his first run of the season. As Cook will look to pass, he's going to throw it short, and it's going to fall short of Healy as he was hit as he threw by McGuire Rasky. As is now 2nd and 10. That's their first pass attempt of the ball game and the first incompletion of the season for Gavin Cook.
Yeah, and again, just a rollout coming to the near side, the left side, and again, for a team that doesn't throw the ball much, that's a tough play for a right-handed quarterback like Cook because he's got to square those shoulders. And Rasky came off of the near side linebacker spot and came on the blitz and was right in Cook's face just about as soon as he set his feet.
2nd and 10 for the 39, 8:28 left to go here in the third quarter. Dirksix goes in motion again. Cook will try and pitch it out to Dirksix. He does get him out on the right side, and he'll get out to about the 42, 43-yard line, a gain of a couple, and it's 3rd down, and for West Central, a 3rd and long. It will be 3rd and about a long 7, short 8.
Yeah, and again, a pitch play, something we didn't see much out of the Trojans in the first half. So that may be their halftime adjustment is to go to that pitch. Maybe they saw that there was going to be some opportunities to work, especially that right side, but to work to that pitch man going off of this flex bone option offense.
3rd and 7 from the 42. 7:44 to go here in the third quarter. From under center, Dirksix comes in motion. They'll pitch it out to the left side at the line of scrimmage, behind the line of scrimmage. And the defensive line will stand tall. Preston Taylor is the first one to get there as he goes back to near the 40-yard line. As Healy will lose 1 yard, and it's 4th and 8. And that'll bring up the punting unit for West Central. And the defense does their job to get the offense the ball back to try and regain the lead.
Yeah, just kind of a counter play, just a reverse pivot by Cook coming out of the snap, and the play looked like it was going to the right side, but just a pitch back to Healy coming the left, and the Governors had that one stacked up pretty easily.
Isis will punt the ball away up high in the air, end over end. Might have hit the scoreboard at Cowboy Stadium in Dallas, as that's going to roll and take a nice hop for West Central inside the 25-yard line to about the 22, where Pierre will take over with 6:53 left to go here in the third quarter. I'm not kidding you. That was high up in the air. That could have hit that scoreboard that hangs down in the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, got a lot of hang time. Not an opportunity for McGuire Rasky to bring that one back, and like you said, it took a nice West Central roll, and so the Governors have the ball inside their own 30 to start this drive.
Rasky with the handoff, trying to get up the middle, but he might have slipped and fell, and it'll be a gain of maybe 1. And he's a little slow to get up, and it seemed like maybe he lost his footing and he was limping just a little bit off that after getting up, but he seems to be okay. Gain of 1 for Rasky.
Yeah, and Rasky's fought through just a number of injuries over his football and wrestling career, and so he's no stranger to playing a little banged up.
From the shotgun, empty backfield, 2nd and 9. They're going to go deep down the left side, looking for the receiver, and it is going to be caught by the Pierre Governors inside the 40-yard line to the 39. It is Zach Lettler that will make the grab all the way down into West Central territory.
Yeah, and just a long pass, and that's really the first time we've seen the Governors take a shot downfield and just a well-thrown ball by Lincoln Keenholz and hit Zach Lettler in stride going up against number 23 Olin Heath for the Trojans, and you kind of wondered when that shot was going to come and maybe try to loosen loosen that defense up, especially that defensive secondary, so they aren't putting so many men in the box against the Governor running attack.
McGuire Rasky will get the handoff as he'll get to the 36, a gain of 3. It was a gain of 32 for Zach, or excuse me, gain of 38 for Zach Lettler on the reception. And it is 2nd and 7 now for the West Central 36. From the pistol to receivers down the left side. Rasky with the handoff. Nice sidestep there from Rasky. He'll go straight up the middle, and he'll carry that pile past the 30-yard line to around the 28, a gain of 8. And he'll bring up another first down for the Governors.
Yeah, and again, the Governors are just doing a nice job in terms of kind of wearing down this West Central defense. And again, I think you're seeing some of the adjustments here as we get to the halfway point of the third quarter. I think we're kind of seeing some of these halftime adjustments that the Pierre coaching staff has made.
1st and 10 for the 29-yard line. Pistol formation. Play action. Keenel's a roll to his right. Flush out of the pocket. Throw. The catch is made by Bullwig. He tiptoes the sideline. Stiff arms him in, and he'll get pushed out of bounds. Otherwise, he was in the end zone for a touchdown, but the Governors have a 1st and goal as Reagan Bullwig broke 2 tackles to the 9-yard line, a gain of 20 on that play.
Yeah, and we haven't heard Reagan Bullwig's name called very much tonight. West Central has done a nice job in terms of bottling him up, but Governors broke him free that time, and he does what Division I football players will do.
McGuire Rasky throws the man off of him, and he gets in the end zone for a touchdown. Rasky somehow was able to throw a man off and then barrel his way and dive in the end zone for a touchdown. The Governors are back on top, 13-7 with 5:06 to go. The power of McGuire Rasky to give the Governors the lead.
Yeah, and that one was all on McGuire Rasky. He took the handoff, went into the middle of the Pierre Governor offensive line, and he just got lost. I just lost him in the middle of about 12 bodies between the Govs and the Trojans, and all of a sudden he just keeps those feet churning, those legs churning, and pretty soon he's able to just find a crevice and keeps the feet turning, and actually got helped across the goal line by Jacob Larson, number 76, one of the offensive tackles.
The extra point is blocked from Karsten Miller. Is 13-7 with 5:06 to go here for the Governors. Back in 30 seconds. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. It is a 6-play, 78-yard drive for the Pierre Governors, and guess who? McGuire Rasky, a 9-yard touchdown run. A little bit longer of runs here for McGuire Rasky in game 2, but that's his 6th touchdown of the year, and he has been the best Pierre Governor offensively for the first game, and now game in 3 quarters for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and again, you knew you were going to get a heavy dose of McGuire Rasky coming into this game, like we'll see probably every game, but he just wanted that one more than just about anybody else.
As it is Dirks again that will get the kickoff, and he'll take it to the 38-yard line. This time he doesn't take it all the way to the house, but it is a good return from Dirks, and it will bring up 1st and 10 from the West Central 38, and they will try and answer. They have not scored yet offensively. Their only touchdown has come off of a 98-yard kickoff return. So here with the Pierre Governor defense can get that first stop. They get a chance to get that first stop and keep the lead here for the Governors.
Yeah, and so as we take this heat time out, this will be a big drive to see if the Governors can keep that momentum.
4:59 to go here in the third quarter. The Governors lead 13-7 over West Central. You listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. It is a 13-7 lead. 4:59 to go here for the third quarter. John Winkler alongside Greg Dean as we are coming out of this heat timeout.
Yeah, and again, just a huge credit to and a huge pat on the back to McGuire Rasky. I mean, that was just one where he was just not going to be denied crossing that goal line from 9 yards out, and so big drive right here for the Governor defense. Can you keep the momentum and get that ball back right now and hold West Central to a 3-and-out?
Cook will hand it off to Isaiah Colin. His first run of the evening will go for a loss to the 30, back to the 37-yard line. Maybe a loss about a half a yard, but still we'll bring up second and 11.
Yeah, just faked the dive to Healy on that play and had Cologne come back around the other side going to the right. First time we've seen that kind of counter play, and the Governors had that one snuffed out pretty well.
Second and 11 as Isnes will go in motion. He'll come back and reset as one of the wing backs for West Central from under center. Cook will get Isnes in motion again. Cook will keep it, and he is met in the backfield, and he's going to be pushed backwards, and it's going to bring up third and long here for West Central. Gunnar Gehring, he lost his helmet. He's going to come out for a play. But the defense for Pierre, a little extra pep in the step for the Governors.
You know, we've seen West Central break off a couple of long gains so far, but again, this offense is just not set to get put in these third and long kind of situations. So right now the Governor defense just has to step up. All 11 young men have to step up and just do their job and try to hold West Central to a 3-and-out and try to get the ball back for the Gov offense.
Will this be with their second pass attempt coming up here on third down? Isaac goes in motion. The handoff going straight up the middle. And West Central trying to keep themselves moving, but it's going to bring out fourth down as that was Zerpel that got the handoff. And Zerpel will get a couple of yards to the 42, a gain of 5, and it's 4th and 6, and that should bring up another punt here from West Central.
Yeah, on their own 43, you just can't think that West Central is going to try to make this a 4-down series, but and they are sending the punt team onto the field.
So a 3-and-out upcoming here from West Central, and what the defense can do when you give them a lead. And that's what the Pierre Governors defense did. 3 plays, and they get that punting unit out there for West Central. Isnes on another good kick as McGuire Rasky again has no chance to return. It's going to take a couple West Central hops inside the 25 again, actually inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line, and that is where the Governors will take over here with 2:41 left to go in this second quarter. And another long drive upcoming here for the Pierre Governors.
Yeah, and Governors have done a nice job with long drives. Both of the last 2 drives where they have scored touchdowns have been long, extended drives. With 2:41 to go in the third quarter, we'll see if they can put together another one right here.
Keenels will start from the pistol, as it is going to be McGuire Rasky that will go up the middle, and he will take it past the 20-yard line to about the 23. And a gain of about 5 or 6 for Rasky on that first down run.
Yeah, and the Governors work in the middle of that offensive line. Rasky just having a great night in the middle of that line right now.
Lincoln Keenels again from the pistol will hand off for Rasky. He'll try and take it to the right side as he'll get inside the tackle and get to the 30-yard line. A gain of 7, enough for a first down. And McGuire Rasky is closing in on the century mark again for a second straight gain. As he's now up to 93 yards and 18 carries. And as much as the Governors are pounding the interior of that line, you got to wonder if again, they aren't maybe setting up and trying to lull West Central to sleep and maybe going to try something downfield or maybe something to Bolwig coming across the middle. A pitch over to the right side for Rasky. He's tripped up in the backfield. He's going to lose a yard at the 29. He'll bring up second and 11. That's the first time that Rasky's really been stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 92 yards on 19 carries here for Rasky in this with about a minute and a half to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, that was just a pitch play coming to the near sideline. Carter Sandholm, the near side defensive tackle for the Trojans, found a crack in the Governor offensive line, was able to slip through and bring Rasky down from behind before he was able to get to the edge.
Receiver on each side here on 2nd and 10. Keenholz will hand to Rasky up the middle. He's got a good hole. He's going to get out to about the 40-yard line, right around the 39. It's going to be just short of a first down. It looks like should be just short of a first down, but a gain of about 10 for Rasky, and he'll be. Oh no, the illegal shift is called on the Governors, so a penalty flag. Didn't see where that was at, but that will back the Governors up, and it will bring up a second and long here for Pierre.
Yeah, I did not see a flag come down. But again, just a very clean game on both sides of the ball for both Pierre and West Central. Just a handful of penalties so far called in this game.
2nd and 15 from about the 25-yard line. 1:09 to go here in the third quarter. Colin Bruggeman will go in motion out to the left side. Keenholz flushed out of the pocket. He's going to turn and look to the right side. Lettler's all alone right now. The throw to Lettler. Catch is made. He's got space. He gets a block. It's going to be Aaron Booth that's going to pick up a penalty, though, and Zach Lettler's going to take it to the house for a touchdown, but it's going to come all the way back. 3 flags are on the field, and Coach Steele is trying to plead his case right now that Booth got him from the side, but it's going to be a penalty on Aaron, at least one penalty on Aaron Booth. And it'll bring it all the way back. It should be enough for a first down, but the Governors are not going to get the touchdown.
Well, they're calling pass interference. I'm not sure I understand a pass interference call. Do you, John?
Yeah, that's an interesting call here. I've not.
I don't understand that. I mean, the penalty is likely on Aaron Booth. I mean, that I get, but even that's kind of a halfway questionable call, because when I saw Booth make the hit, he got his helmet around in front of the West Central defender. I mean, even though he got him from the side, so it's an iffy call in my opinion. Not to take anything away from the officials. I mean, they've got a tough job out there, but bottom line is it's going to take the touchdown off the board. It is going to be a first down.
Yeah, they're going to put him at the 40-yard line. So a gain of 15. I guess Zach Lettler will get that to reception for a gain of 15. But that's the only benefit out of all that is that at least the Governors have a first down here with under a minute to go in this third quarter.
And give a lot of credit to Lincoln Keenholz. The sophomore did a nice job buying time, in the pocket, and was able to buy some time and let that play develop.
Rasky will slip through one tackler. He's going to try and keep on his feet. Flag is down the far side. Rasky is out to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, where he's going to be inside the 20-yard line. But again, a flag is down the line of scrimmage, and it might bring him all the way back again.
This is some kind of either a false start or an offsides penalty coming from the linesman on the far side of the field, or an illegal shift. We'll see what it is. And Governors are walking back. It's an illegal shift.
I say you can tell by where the penalty flag is thrown. It's on the Governor's side of the 40-yard line. If it was on the outside the 40-yard line, it probably would have been on West Central, but it's going to bring them all the way back.
And just when we talked about the fact that this has been a fairly clean game, Governors on back-to-back plays have penalties that have taken long offensive gains off the board for them.
It's Matt Hansen that is called for the illegal shift. So to push it back to the 35, it would be 1st and 15 from the 35. And for the Governors, I mean, Zach Lettler is going to be is starting to get a little gassed right now after his long run. McGuire Rasky's a little gassed right now. And if you're Coach Steele, maybe you say, let's take a quick play here and get to the end of the third quarter and get him a little break. But Keenholz is going to throw the ball right through the hands of Bullwig. It's over the top of his head, but it goes through the hands of Bullwig. Being complete at 2nd and 15. And it's 21 seconds left to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's something you don't see happen very often, a ball that goes through Reagan Bullwig's hands, because the ball was thrown a little high, but a catchable ball. And unfortunately went right through Bullwig's hands, and the Governors will have it 2nd and 15 on their own 35.
21 seconds left to go here in this third quarter between the Governors and West Central Trojans. Keenholz will move a man in motion. That's Colin Bruggeman. A pitch to the right side for Rasky. He will get those legs moving and past the 40-yard line to about the 42. That should take us to the end of the third quarter as he picked up 7 yards. And it'll bring up 3rd and 8 here for the Governors. 99 yards on 20 carries for McGuire Rasky. We head to the fourth quarter. The Governors lead 13-7 over West Central. Back in a minute with the fourth. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football. Today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field, start of the fourth quarter. It is a 13-7 lead here for the Governors.
Quick score updates from around the state. St. Thomas More leading Sturgis 3-0 late in the third quarter. T leading Vermilion 42-0 in the third quarter. Custer leading Spearfish 12-0 in the third quarter. Brookings 27-0 over Lennox at halftime. Sully Buttes 8-6 over Potter County at halftime. Stanley County up over Bennett County 20-0 in the middle of the third quarter.
3rd and 8 from the 42. Empty backfield here for Lincoln Keenels. They'll try and air it out, go deep for Zach Lettler again. Lettler's going to try and come around the defender in Colin, and it'll fall incomplete, and it'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation here for the Governors. And Lettler really had no chance as Colin was running with them stride for stride and turned around. And I believe maybe Coach Benedetto wants a offensive pass interference call, but Lettler had no chance outside of trying to get an offensive pass interference call to make the catch.
Yeah, and that was a ball that was thrown back toward the middle of the field, and Cologne did a nice job staying and pushing Lettler to the sidelines, and Lettler really just did not have a chance at getting that ball. And as the ball was coming down, Lettler made sure that Cologne was not going to have a chance at making an interception on that play, and kind of corralled him up, almost tackled him. I can see where the West Central coaching staff might have had a little bit of a case on that play.
So Zach Lettler now will try and put the ball away, but we have a flag beforehand. It's going to be a false start on the Governors. They'll back him up another 5 yards. It'll be and it'll bring up, again, a 4th and 13 here as that one will go against Denton Beck of the Governors on the false start penalty. And Zach Lettler again will try and punt this one away. 8 seconds into this fourth quarter, West Central is going to have a chance to try and tie it up. On the snap, a high snap, and Lettler will get away. Good punt here from Zach Lettler. It's going to take a couple of hops here. Isis has no chance to play. It's going to roll to the 15-yard line. What an excellent punt from Zach Lettler, and that really flips the field here and has to have West Central go 85 yards to try and tie it up.
Yeah, close to a 50-yard punt from Lettler, and a nice confidence booster for him after the last time he was back in punt formation. Got the high snap, and West Central corralled him and Governors ended up turning over the ball on downs deep in their own territory. They dodged the bullet as they held West Central out of the end zone on that drive, but nice punt from Lettler and regained a little confidence on that one.
1st and 10 from the 15-yard line, 11:42 left to go here in this fourth quarter. From under center, Isis will go in motion. The ball is on the ground, and the Pierre Governors say they have it. McGuire Rasky is pointing the officials have it, and the Governors do have the football. A turnover inside the red zone from West Central, and the Governors now have a chance to take a 2-touchdown lead.
Reagan Bolwig on the recovery for the Governors, and again, we talked about the fact that if you can disrupt that initial dive, that fullback dive, and that exchange between Cook and Healy, you can create a lot of havoc, and that's exactly what happened right there. The defensive line got a good push, disrupted that handoff, and the ball went on the ground. Governors opportunistic. Reagan Bolwig with the recovery.
Lincoln Keenels from the shotgun or from the pistol, handoff to McGuire. Rasky will try to bounce outside to the right side, but he'll be tackled right at the line of scrimmage at the 15. Maybe picked up a yard to the 14. It will be a gain of 1. And it's 2nd and 9 here as Rasky gets to the century mark on his 21st carry of the night.
Yeah, and at this point, even though the Governors would love to score a touchdown, a field goal would be golden right now. That would make it a 2-score ball game here early in the fourth quarter.
13-7 with 11 minutes to go here in this fourth quarter. From the shotgun, empty backfield, Bergman will go in motion as Keenels will go to the left side. He gets tripped up trying to get inside the 10-yard line. He fell inside the 10, but it's 3rd down and short here, 3rd and medium here for the Governors with about 10:50 to play here in the fourth quarter. We'll call it a gain of 5 and bring up 3rd and 4.
Yeah, and again, now you're inside the 10-yard line, so I suspect would kick the field goal if you don't convert here on 3rd down, but you never outguess Steve Steele. I mean, he pulls back, he reaches down deep into the bag of tricks and will do any kind of things. I mean, the entire playbook is in play right now.
3rd down and 5 from the 10. Receiver on each side. Keenels will throw one up to the corner of the end zone. It's up in the air and is going to fall incomplete. Was nearly intercepted by West Central again, but it will fall incomplete and it'll bring up 4th down. And Karsten Miller will come on for a field goal attempt, as it'll be about a 27-yard field goal attempt here for Karsten Miller.
Pass intended for Jackson Edmond out there on the far side of the field. And again, a 50-50 ball, just a fade route that Keenholz threw into the corner of the end zone, and good coverage by the cornerback. I think that might have been Eidsness over there on the coverage.
From it'll be a 27-yard kick for Karsten Miller. The kick is up, and it is good from Karsten Miller. 27-yard field goal is good, and it's 16-7 as the Governors are now up by 9, and it is a 2-score lead here for the Pierre Governors. That's a big kick for the senior.
Yeah, and that was a tough kick because that ball was on the near hash, and so Miller not only had to get the 27-yard field goal, he had that severe angle coming from the near hash mark. Luckily, the wind wasn't a big factor tonight, and so that's the kind of thing you get, and the experience you get out of a young man like Karsten Miller, who's been kicking for this team for a couple of years.
And again, a 27-yard kick. It's a 3-play, 5-yard drive for the Governors. You don't see that very often unless they get the ball around the 5-yard line where they run 3 plays and only gain 5 yards, but they get the 27-yard field goal kick from Karsten Miller, and it's 16-7, a 9-point lead. So that now West Central, with 10:06 to go, has got to score twice to try and beat the Governors.
Yeah, and just that's a big deal. So right now, if you're the Governors, you continue to just, if West Central is gonna score, make them go on a long extended drive where they got to really eat a lot of clock. This is not a team, West Central that's really built to score fast unless they can break off a big play. And so far, the Governors have done a nice job in corralling. I think the longest gain for West Central tonight has been about 15 yards.
Miller will tee it up. He will kick it deep. And on one hop, Eidsness will take it around the 15 and out to the 20 and the 25 inside the hash marks, and he is tripped up just past the 25 to the 27. That's where West Central will take over. And really for this West Central team, their kicking unit has been their best offense here tonight. That's the only reason why they're on the scoreboard right now, as it's a 16-7 lead.
Yeah, and we've seen good plays and big plays out of both special teams units so far for both West Central and Pierre. So kind of sometimes a forgotten segment of the game, but you can do a lot of damage, really flip the momentum if your special teams are playing well.
10:02 to go here in the fourth quarter. 16-7. The Governors lead by 9. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Cook from under center. Eidsness goes in motion. Cook will pitch it back to Eidsness. They're going to throw a ball for Healy, and it's over the head of Healy, and he would have been off to the races for a touchdown. Lincoln Keenels was beating covers thinking that they were not going to throw the ball, and Eidsness overthrows his target and could have led him on the run for a big 73-yard touchdown. But instead, it's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, and Healy had Keenholz beat by about 5 yards. If Eidsness doesn't overthrow him, he's off to the races, and it's at least a 16-13 game.
So it's 2nd and 10 from the 27. Pulled out the bag of tricks, and it was going to work. It just wasn't executed to perfection for West Central. And Cook, I believe, it kept the ball that time on 2nd and 10. And it was going to go for probably no gain. Zerpel was the one that Zerpel got the handoff, and no gain. It's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, and again, big play right here, and you got to wonder as we go under the 10-minute mark here in the fourth quarter, with West Central being down by 2 scores, if this might not be 4-down territory for the Trojans.
Yeah, and the only problem is that their offense isn't they got to pick up quite a few yards here to make it 4th down and manageable. It's 3rd and 10 from the 27, 9:15 to go. 2 receivers are out to the right side as they'll go up the middle again, and they're not going to pick up a whole lot. Well, the Trojans, as I believe that was maybe Healy, Zerpel again, they got the handoff, and he'll pick up maybe a yard, and it's 4th and 9.
And the punting unit looks like it's staying on the sidelines for West Central. So this is 4-down territory. Cook over talking to Coach Benedetto, getting the play call and taking a lot of time over there on the sidelines. We'll see if Cook can get them hurried up in the huddle and get them to the line, and they can avoid a delay of game call here.
And you really look at it too and you said 8:30 left. The offense isn't designed to try and score 2 times in under 8 minutes, but that's what they'd have to do if they don't score here. As Cook is going to try and pass the ball, he's going to throw it towards Eisnitz. The catch is bobbled and dropped by Eisnitz, and it'll bring up a turnover on downs. Lincoln Keenels in coverage. And that's a big time play from Lincoln Keenels to disrupt the pass. And Eisnitz was nearly had that remarkable catch.
Yeah, and a great play by Keenholz. He had Eisnitz blanketed in the flag route coming out to the sidelines. Actually, a nice ball thrown by Cook for a team that does not throw the ball very much. Cook threw a nice ball out here to the near sideline, and it was again kind of a 50-50 ball, something that both Eisnitz and Keenholz had a chance at. Eisnitz, being a little bigger and stronger, was able to come up with it. I think had it in his hands for a fraction of a second, but when he went to the ground, then the ball bounced away, and the Governors are able to take over on downs.
West Central taking time out here with 8:21 left to go, and maybe a little bit of trying to rally the troops here is Coach Benedetto, but you almost wonder too, that timeout might come back to haunt them down the stretch. If they were able to get a stop at any point and score, you're not going to have a whole lot of time left. You're going to have to use those timeouts, but that one timeout might come back to hurt you here.
Well, and you really want to keep those timeouts for as late in the game as possible, especially if you're trailing. And right now, West Central really kind of between a rock and a hard spot. The Governors will take over on downs on the West Central 28-yard line on a short field. They have an opportunity again where if they can put something on the board right here, right now it's a touchdown and a field goal, and we saw Eisnitz, the place kicker from West Central, look, he's got a pretty good leg. At least he exhibited that on that point after touchdown earlier in the game. So right now it's 9 points. So it's a touchdown and something else. A field goal would put West Central in the lead. If the Governors can put a touchdown on the board right now, make it a 3-score game, that would just about probably seal the deal tonight.
Yeah, and again, 8:21 left, and that offense that West Central likes to run, they're going to have to try and pass the ball late in this game if they go down by 3 scores. And Cook so far, he is 0 for 2. Eisnitz is 0 for 1, although they were maybe a couple of steps away from making it a 16-14 game. Keenels drops the ball on the snap. He's able to fall back on top of it, and he'll lose 3 yards back to about the 31, and it'll bring up 2nd and 13. And not the start that the Governors were hoping for in that first play. It'll actually be a loss of 4.
And the last thing you want to do if you're the Governors is give the ball away right now. What you want to do is just control the ball, run some clock, keep the clock running. Right now it's running. We're down under 8 minutes now in the fourth quarter. But you really just want to pick up first downs. Ideally, you want to score, or at the very least, you want to keep the clock running. Even if you have to punt, you can hopefully pin West Central deep in their own territory.
And McGuire Rasky with the handoff on 2nd and 14. It'll be no gain for Rasky to bring up 3rd and 14 here for the Governors. Where you sit at right now, it's would be around a 49-yard field goal for Karsten Miller. So might be a touch out of his range. Although the wind could help him if they would elect to try and kick a field goal. It is the 3rd and 14. Keenels has taken the clock down right now. 7:05 left to go as they get under 5 on the play clock. Low snap, play action. Keenels will roll. He'll dump it over to Colin Bergman. The catch is made. Bergman out to near the sideline, near the first down marker, and he's put the Governors in manageable 4th down here to the 20-yard line. A gain of 12 for Colin Bergman.
Yeah, this is probably 4-down territory. 30, they're just outside the 20, so it would be about a 38-yard field goal, probably within Miller's range. But I think right now, the way that the Governors have had success running the ball with McGuire Rasky tonight, I think you will probably see the ball go into Rasky's hands.
Around 4th and 2 here. Rasky will be the quarterback. He'll take the direct snap. He'll run it straight up the middle. He'll bounce out the left side. He's got a first down to the near sideline. He's going to try and dive for the pylon. Is he in for the third time? He is. McGuire Rasky makes it 22-7. 6:56 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and just Rasky in the Wildcat. First time we've seen that this year. As Keenholz goes out into the split end position on the right side, on the far side, direct snap to Rasky, and he just found as he got to the edge on the left side, just found a crease and was able, and a nice block out here by Zach Lettler out on the near side as he walled off Cologne. Rasky was able to get inside of that block, and then it was just a foot race to the pylon.
4-play, 28-yard drive. They're going to go for 2 here. Rasky again will take that snap as he'll try and dive to the end zone. He's in, and it's 24-7. The Governors are now up by 17 with 6:56 to go here in the fourth quarter. You're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. A 4-play, 28-yard drive, a 20-yard touchdown run for McGuire Rasky, his 7th of the season, 3rd of the game. And this Pierre Governor offense now leads 24-7. He gets in for the 2-point conversion to get them up to 17. It is a 3-score lead here for the Pierre Governors with 6:56 to go. So you cut that into threes here. Boy, West Central's got to run a really quick offense and then get onside kick after onside kick to try and tie this one up.
Yeah, and just something that, you know, is almost improbable. You've seen big comebacks before, but I tell you what, a lot of credit to the Pierre Governors tonight. They've done a lot of things, especially a lot of good things in this second half. We talked about the halftime adjustments that this coaching staff makes. They are probably as good as anybody, if not better than just about the entire state in terms of making those halftime adjustments and winning the second half.
Dylan Sherrard will get the short kick from Karsten Miller, and it will be 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. And here with 6:51 to go, the Pierre Governors are up by 17 and are starting to feel like they might have this one in the bag, trying to go 2-0 in one of their toughest games that they have had in the last couple of years in the regular season. From under center, Gavin Cook will take Isis in motion. Cook will keep it. He will almost try to pitch the ball a little bit too late. Cook's going to lose some yards from the 35 back to about the 32-yard line, a loss of 3.
Yeah, and again, Cook on the keeper after he pulled the ball out of the fullback dive, looked like maybe he was thinking about pitching the ball, but Reagan Bolwick had him wrapped up just about a step after he pulled the ball out of Healy's midsection and just had nowhere to go, and so we'll see if the Governor defense can clamp down right here.
6:10 to go here in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 12 from the 33. From under center, Cook. Isis in motion to the left side. Cook will hand it off up the middle. Healy's got a good run to the 41-yard line. A gain of 8 for Ryan Healy.
Yeah, and again, right now, if you're the Governors, you're not really worried about giving up chunks of 3, 4, 5, and 6 as long as that clock keeps moving and we're down under 6 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter.
3rd and 4 from the 41. 5:40 left. Handoff for Healy again, and he is tackled at the waist and almost flipped over the first man to get to him. I believe that might have been Preston Taylor that got to him first, and it'll be Josh Rouse that got to him first. So now it's 4th and 2, a gain of 2 yards, and you have to go for it here. You're down by 17, but you got to go for it here with 5:15 left here in this fourth quarter. Receiver out to the right side. From under center, Cook. He'll go back to pass. He's going to throw it looking for a intended receiver. The catch is going to be made, as that is going to be Jackson Skinner to make that reception. His second reception of the season. And it's enough for a first down as they get it out to the 35.
Yeah, Tristan Curry on the coverage for the Governors, and a nice ball from Cook. Skinner was able to get in behind Curry and found a little running room on the far side of the field, and West Central's got a little something going now here with just under 5 minutes to go in the game.
Gain of about 22 there for Skinner. The handoff trying to go up the middle, and maybe a gain of 1 to the 34. Healy will pick up that 1 yard. 1 for 3 is Cook now from the air for a gain of 22 yards. 2nd and 9, and West Central are going to start taking their time here, but there's 4.5 to play. They got to start moving a little bit quicker here. They don't have enough time to keep moving, to keep going back into a huddle. And of course, that's not how their offense runs, but they got to score 3 times to even chance to try and tie this ball game up. From under center, receiver out to the right side. Cook will look to pass again. He's going to roll to his right. He'll throw over the middle. He was hit as he threw. The catch is going to be made, and West Central is going to score a touchdown. As it was Dirksix to get the reception, and he will go into the end zone for a touchdown, a gain of 34. A 34-yard reception as 24-13 with 4:04 to go.
Yeah, and just a post route, and Cook was able to find Dirksix as he came across the middle. Dirksix able to beat Tristan Curry, or not Tristan Curry, but Cord Ellis on the near side here on his cornerback position. And again, West Central got a little bit of life here with just over 4 minutes to go, and now down 24-13 with the PAT coming up.
6-play drive for West Central. Trying on for the extra point. The kick is going to be just over the crossbar and in. So it's 24-14 with 4:04 to go here in the fourth quarter. Governor's up by 10. You listen to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR. Today's KCCR.com. It is a 24-14 lead for the Pierre Governors. A 6-play drive, 34-yard catch from Dirksix makes it a 10-point advantage here for the Pierre Governors, as Cook has thrown his 3rd touchdown pass of the season. He's been pretty efficient with 4 receptions, 4 completions, and 3 of them gone for touchdowns here so far this year, Greg.
Yeah, and Cook throws a nice ball. He's just in an offense where he doesn't get to showcase his arm very much, and so now West Central down by 10, 4 minutes to go in the game. You almost have to believe that this is going to be an onside kick. Pierre has 10 guys up within about 20 yards of where this ball is going to be kicked from. This is the hands team, or as they like to call it, the stickies, and see if they can come up with an onside kick. We'll see what kind of gadget play that West Central has coming out of this onside kick play.
And with 4:04 to go, West Central needs this onside kick, as it will be a short onside kick. It goes off a couple of Governors, and West Central might have got the ball back. No indication yet from either side. Nobody from both teams are signaling anything. Trying to figure out who has the ball, and that usually means that the receiving team has it and the Governors do have it. Usually when that happens, when there's no reaction from anybody, it's usually the team that is supposed to have the ball is the one that has the possession. As we have a timeout, so with 4 minutes left to go here, a heat timeout for the Governors and West Central Trojans. 24-14, 4 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Back in a minute, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. 4 minutes to go exactly here in the fourth quarter. The Pierre Governors lead 24-14. As they will have possession, they'll start with the drive at their own 43-yard line, trying to take those last 4 minutes off the clock to pick up their second win before they head to Yankton next Friday to take on the Bucks in an ESD matchup. As it is Rasky that will start with the ball, he'll start taking the snap from the shotgun to the empty backfield. Lincoln Keenel's out to the right side. Rasky will look to go to his left. And the snap kind of took him by surprise, but he's able to get past the 45 and dive to the 49-yard line. A gain of 6 on that first down run for McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, and right now, this is probably a good call by Coach Steve Steele. Put Rasky in the Wildcat, just a direct snap. You don't have that exchange. You don't have take the chance of maybe fumbling that handoff. You just put the ball in Rasky's hands. He's been the mule. He's been the water carrier all night for the Governors, and put it on his shoulders to keep this thing in the bag for Pierre.
2nd and 4 from the 49. 5 seconds to go on the play clock. Rasky will get the snap right up the middle, and now he'll bounce to the right side. He's got a lot of room out to the right side. Lincoln Keenels will try and get a block for him as he'll get past the 40 to the 35, near the 30-yard line. Rasky will switch ends of the field, and a big run there for McGuire Rasky out to the 32, a gain of 19 for McGuire Rasky.
A couple quick score updates, John. St. Thomas More now leads Sturgis late in the fourth quarter, 16-0. Mitchell over Sioux Falls Christian early in the fourth, 27-20. Huron over Millbank, 23-0. That in the third. And Yankton all over Dakota Valley, 44-15 late in the third.
That's the team that we will see next Friday in Yankton. Down in Yankton, we'll have the call for you on today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com as McGuire Rasky will get the handoff and go forward again, trying to go forward. He's going to be thrown back. As he'll pick up very little. He'll bring up second down for the Governors.
Yeah, and just again, this is as much about making sure the clock continues to wind as it is about even trying to gain yardage right now, down under 3 minutes. Governors very much in control of this game. West Central still has 2 timeouts, so you got to wonder when they're going to start burning those. If the Governors get a first down on this possession, you got to figure that they will probably use them coming up pretty quickly.
Rasky wait for that play clock to get under 5. The snap will come to Rasky. He'll go to the right side with it. He's outside the hash marks to the sideline, trying to stay inbounds, and I believe he did stay inbounds. So the clock will continue to run. It'll be 3rd and short here for the Governors, and I would think Rasky will take at least one more snap. And I'm surprised that West Central's not taking that timeout here because it's 3rd down, although it's 3rd and short.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder if maybe they're gonna try to push this into a 4th down and see if they can get a 4th down and then take the timeout, save themselves a timeout for maybe what might be their last offensive possession. But we'll see what Coach Benedetto has up his sleeve here on 3rd and 2 from the defensive side.
3rd and 2 from the 26. Rasky up the middle. He's going to find some space to get enough for a first down as he gets inside the 20 to the 19. And that's a big first down here for the Pierre Governors as is down the 19-yard line. He gave about 3 or 4 for McGuire Rasky.
Yeah, and Lightning would just about have to strike now for this one to get away from the Governors. 2-score game for the Governors. They are now going into victory formation, something we only saw one time last year, John, in the state championship game.
As Lincoln Keenels now will take that first snap. He'll take the knee, 1:20 to go, and Coach Benedetto will keep those 2 timeouts in his back pocket. The Governors are a couple snaps away here from taking it 24-14 and winning by 10. And their closest win in several years for this Pierre Governor team.
Yeah, and tell you what, a lot of credit to the Pierre offensive line, a lot of credit to the Pierre defense, but a huge amount of credit to McGuire Rasky. He was just stellar tonight on both sides of the ball. He made a couple of big plays on the defensive side, but I think by the time you get his numbers all put together, he's going to have a huge night offensively.
That is Jacob Mayer, I believe, that took the snap. It was Keno's that took that last snap, and that will pretty much do it here as they don't have to run another play. A couple of handshakes here. There's no handshakes at the end of the ball game, but the offense and defense will congratulate each other and say good luck the rest of the year as the Pierre Governors are going to win this one 24-14 here tonight. They are now 2-0, and the Governors have opened up the home portion of their schedule with a big 10-point win over a really good and tough 11A opponent in West Central. They win it 24-14. Back in the post game, you're listening to Pierre Governor Football, today's KCCR and today's KCCR.com. As we welcome you back here to Hollister Field and into the postgame show, it is a 24-14 win for the Pierre Governors over West Central. And the Governors, Greg, hey, this is one of their toughest games that they've had in the last couple of years outside the state championship games. And for the home faithful to come out here to Hollister Field, they saw an exciting one as they won by 10.
Yeah, and again, when we saw the schedule come out, knowing that West Central had a big win last week, had a lot of kids coming back from last year, you just knew that this was going to be a good ball game, and it was going to be a real test for the Governors. And I think the Governors did get tested, probably got tested for the first time in, well, probably better than a year. Other than the state championship game last year. And so I think every coach likes to see their team get tested just to kind of see what they're made of. And I think that's exactly what Steve Steele and the rest of the coaching staff got tonight. Was they got a test. And so this game was tied. in the first half. The Governors responded, and they responded well, especially in the second half. West Central just really didn't get anything going offensively in the second half, other than that kickoff return. The Governors really pretty much had them bottled up until that last drive at the end of the game.
Yeah, and that is something, again, for this defense. This was a really tough offensive line, a really big offensive line for West Central. So that defensive line probably hasn't really, I mean, they've seen good offensive lines, but this has probably been one of the better ones and one of the bigger ones that Pierre has seen and really has had to really work for it. And, Preston Taylor, you look at Preston Taylor, Gunnar Gehring, and Jace Beestrom, those three guys on that defensive line. It was a little slow to get moving forward, but they really played well in that second half.
Yeah, and give them a lot of credit. I mean, and you hope this isn't a modem, an MO of what's to come, but I tell you what, they're a little bit of a slow starting unit, but once they kind of get their feet underneath them, and they kind of get a chance to kind of figure out what's coming at them, they really take control. They took control from pretty much the beginning of the second quarter on last week. Kind of the same situation here. From about the beginning of the second quarter on, the line play really began to dominate on both sides of the ball for the Governors.
And McGuire Rasky, 157 yards, 28 carries, 3 touchdowns on the ground for him. The senior has proven once again why he deserves to get the ball as much as he does. And he was one of our 6 players of the game, because we're going to have the offensive line as the other 5 players of the game. Because, one, Rasky deserves it, but 2, we like to give that the player of the game to more than just the same person over and over again. That's kind of how Stout was last year. We were trying to kind of share the wealth, but Stout would do so much that he had to continually get player of the game. And Rasky right now, he's 2 for 2. He's might be up here quite a bit. We'll bring other guys up here with him, but he's going to be up here quite a bit here in post-game shows.
Yeah, and Rasky's going to be the warhorse. You're going to see him carry the ball and be the focal point of this offense pretty much week in and week out. And I have said for a long time, you can be the best running back in the world, but unless you've got 5 guys in front of you, unless you've got 5 elephants and rhinoceroses in front of you to open those holes, you can be the best running back in the world. You're going to get stood up every time. And so the reason that McGuire Rasky got 157 yards tonight, averaged just a little over between 5 and 6 yards a carry, which is pretty healthy average for any running back, is due to the credit for that offensive line. And so huge credit to those young men who don't get their name called very often. About the only time you hear their name called is when they commit a penalty, and then you're it's in a bad light. So it's a good opportunity for the Governor offensive line to come up and shine a little bit tonight.
The Jace Beestrom, Houston Lundy, Gunnar Gehring, Jacob Larson, and Denton Beck are going to be up here for that post-game show. I saw McGuire Rasky, and Coach Steele just texted me and said that on his way, and so at least McGuire Rasky is on his way over here for the post-game interview, and hopefully we get the rest of the offensive line to come out here and get a chance to kind of talk about this as well, because hey, to give 157 yards, another 27 yards for Keenels on the ground, but Keenels threw 9 of 19 for 121 yards, and there's a couple times, there's some really good plays that Keenels made on the run, but that offensive line created him a chance to step up in the pocket instead of having to go outside the right or left side of the pocket.
Yeah, and we knew that coming into this year, Lincoln Keenholz was going to have a pretty big learning curve, and he's responded pretty well so far. He had a very nice night out in Sturgis last week. Tonight, the numbers weren't quite as good as last week, but still 9 for 19 for 121 yards, I think it was. That's a good week. Most high school quarterbacks, especially at the upper level, you'll take that, and especially out of a sophomore kind of quarterback, you'll take that. So that's a big week for him. he's going to be a little bit of a work in progress, but I tell you what, it's going to be fun to watch him grow throughout the rest of this season and over the next couple of years.
As we welcome in McGuire Rasky and the McGuire Rasky post-game show, just like it was last week. McGuire, you went 157 yards, at least on my count, 157 yards on 28 carries, scored another 3 times. That's the 7 touchdowns in 2 games so far. As the game went on, did you feel yourself maybe get a little bit more energy? Because it seemed like as the game went on, you were able to pick up a lot more runs, a lot more yardage on runs.
Oh yeah, I was tired, but adrenaline kicked in, and I knew once we got going, our O-line was going to get a good push, and I just followed our line and found the hole and hit it hard.
Well, the O-line's following you up here in the press box. We'll talk to them next. But
big boys.
Talk about those guys. Talk about how good those guys were for you here tonight.
Well, they're very good. So good, I owe them another donut cake or a couple donut cakes since I got 150 yards.
You're going to go broke.
I know. Good thing I work at Walmart. $14 an hour.
I tell you what, the touchdown you scored, your 3rd one of the night down here in the end zone on the far side of the field. You got stood up. You went into just a mass of humanity in the middle of that line and kept your legs churning, and then you just kind of popped out of there, and you kind of ran into the end zone holding hands with Jacob Larson. Talk a little bit about that run. That was probably one of the best runs we'd seen all night.
Yeah, probably one of my better runs I've ever had, but I couldn't have done it without my lineman, Houston. He picked me up. I don't know if you saw it, but I was stumbling, and he picked me up and brought me in. So, I mean.
It was Houston. I thought it was Larson.
You know, I felt this guy on my back, and I just kept going. I don't really know what happened. I mean, just kept moving.
Just kept those feet churning. You know, that's what every running back coach will tell you from the time you're a 3rd grader on up. Just keep those feet churning.
Yep.
And the defense here for you guys, this is the first time the defense has really had to, in the second half, be in stressful situations, in a tie game or just a 1-score lead. Last year, there was really no time that the defense came out in the field and didn't have at least a 2-score lead. So talk about how good this defense was tonight, and the first time they've actually had pressure for them in the second half.
Yeah, we stepped up big time. Our D-line making some big plays. We had our assignments, and we all went to it, and we all did our jobs. I mean, we played about perfect almost on defense. I mean, we worked our butts off and couldn't have done much more.
How tough was it to adjust to this different kind of offense? I mean, it's something you just have not seen before, running this triple option flex bone offense that West Central runs. Was that tough for you to get ready for during the week?
I mean, yeah, triple option is always a difficult offense to cover, but our defensive coordinator coach Sean Lewis, he did a good job preparing us and teaching us where we need to be on what guys we need to get, and we did our jobs.
I mean, that's probably got to be fun for you guys, especially and for Coach Lewis too, to get that big challenge of trying to handle a triple option.
Yeah, I think he loves it. He said it's his favorite thing to cover or go against. So, I mean,
Gunner's shaking his head. I don't think he really enjoyed it as much.
It's not as fun as being a guy on defense, but maybe a coach it's different. I don't know.
Well, you guys are now 2-0. You get Yankton next week, a chance to go on the road again and play that ESD team. What are you expecting from them?
I mean, it's a good game. They're a good team, and we're a good team. It should be a good game.
You're getting better at this interview stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be here probably 9 weeks in a row here because as you go 157 yards again here tonight, another 3 touchdowns. Great game again, McGuire, and we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you.
As we will pass along, the first man to step up for the offensive line is Gunner Gary. Gunner, it wasn't just you in Houston, but you're the only 2 that showed up. Are you guys the only ones that aren't scared of us?
No, it's just, I don't know. I guess we're just like
you guys are supposed to travel in a group, right?
Yeah, we should get the rest of the line up here, but I guess we only could bring up 2 of us.
Talk a little bit about you had a little bit of a slow start again this week. Same thing as what happened out in Sturgis last week, but kind of once you got that first touchdown on the board, that long first drive, that 91-yard drive, you guys really began to kind of put things together on the offensive line. Did you make some adjustments in that first half? Did you kind of begin to figure out what kind of scheme they were running? What did you do in the first half that started to gel for you on the offensive line?
Oh, well, we just communicated a lot better. I think in like the first couple drives, we weren't communicating the best. But then when we started clicking just as a whole line, and we just got better towards the end of the game.
And there's not too many times with the size that you guys have on the offensive line. There's not too many times where pound for pound, the defensive line is going to be as big as what West Central was. Does that pose a little bit of some problems, especially early on, trying to combat that?
Honestly, not really. Like, if you have good technique and stuff, it doesn't matter how big the guy is. Like, they could be small and still like beat up on you, but if you just have good technique, doesn't matter how big the size of the guy is.
So since we've got you here, let's talk a little bit about the defensive side of the ball. You're one of those three big guys, man in the interior of the defensive line, playing against this kind of unique offense that West Central threw at you. You got to be really disciplined, don't you, to stay to your script and do what you need to do. You can't really freelance a whole lot because if you don't stick to your responsibility, that can really mess up the whole scheme, correct?
Yeah, my responsibility is dive. And like, so if I don't go and dive and I try to go after quarterback and he gives out the dive, that messes up like our whole defensive like play. Like, yeah, I don't know. It just messes up the play. I
so
guess.
How long did it take until you really thought you were kind of comfortable in terms of your preparation for this kind of offense? When was it during the week that you really thought you were comfortable with with getting ready for this game?
Probably Wednesday. Yeah, they were in that 4-point stance, which I'd never played a team that went in a 4-point. So I was going to 3-point most of the game until they recovered the punt on our punt, and I decided to go 4-point, and it worked a lot better. I could stay lower, and I wasn't as high off the ball.
Now, when you go against Yankton here next week, does it make things a little bit easier when they're not running the triple option, or just in general, kind of everybody's a little bit difficult to prepare for, but does it make it a little bit easier after getting through the option and playing as well as you guys did?
Yeah, it will be a lot easier. I mean, Yankton will be a tough team that we're going to have to face, and I think it's going to be a good game.
Gunnar, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the win. We'll see you next Friday.
Yep, thank you.
And now we will hand things over to Houston Lundy as part of that offensive line. And again, I'll kind of start the same question here. How good was that defensive line for West Central that really made things difficult early on for you guys?
Yeah, one thing they were doing well is they were getting off the ball and kind of beating us to the spot. We were kind of lackadaisical at first, trying to get to our spots and make our key plays, making our blocks, so they got us there. But once we started gaining confidence, that's what we have to do. Is we have a younger quarterback, and when our senior offensive line doesn't give them enough time, it kind of messes everything up. So we just have to give them the confidence.
And I think you've seen and we've seen Lincoln Keenholz kind of grow from week to week. I mean, he had a nice game last week. You saw him make some plays this week. I think a lot of that is due to the credit of the offensive line. You guys, whether he's rolling out or just standing back in the pocket, you guys have done a nice job in terms of giving him a fair amount of time to get through his progressions. Talk a little bit about how you pass block and just put him in a position for success.
Well, at the end of the play, we just try to be 5 hats on 5 hats. Make sure no one's getting through. Just create a nice pocket for him to step up, and if he has to take some more time. He does a nice job, though. If someone gets through, we can scramble, and he just makes a play.
And it's going to feel good for the experienced line, the senior heavy line, to protect a younger guy and kind of show him like, hey, we got your, or I guess we got your front, because you guys are protecting his front, not actually his back. You don't want to protect his back because that means he's probably turned around the other way. But to kind of show him and give him a lot more confidence by just allowing him to step up in the pocket by surrounding those guys around him.
Yeah, I mean, even if he wasn't a sophomore, I mean, he doesn't play like he's a sophomore. He plays like he's been playing a while. But, yeah, we just have to give him time. That's all we have to really do, follow our keys.
Yeah, and so talk a little bit about what you did on the offensive line to kind of break loose McGuire Rasky on the running game. I mean, you guys really took control starting at the beginning of the second quarter, and then I think especially in the second half, you guys did a really nice job. He had a lot of running room and not only scored the 3 touchdowns, third one thanks to your help. Talk a little bit about what you guys did. Did you make any adjustments in the locker room at halftime? what you did in the second half, and then maybe talk about that touchdown play where McGuire got the key play and got the key touchdown.
Well, we just started doing what we've been practicing in practice every week. We didn't come out firing off like on all cylinders, so we just had to step up and play our game. We were letting them get the best of us. And on that play, I just tried to go up to a linebacker, and I actually missed my guy. But we
won't tell anybody.
I saw an opportunity to help a guy out and try to get us some points. So I just did what my first instinct was and tried to get him in the end zone.
I think he should be, he says he's going to give the donut cake or whatever he's going to do for you guys. I think he should say that he should tell Steele to go on the stats and give you the credit for that touchdown. You used your first career touchdown that way.
He put his head down. Without him putting his head down and keeping his feet turning, he would have been down. And that takes the whole offensive line, pushing on him to keep him up and keep him going towards the end zone.
Houston, congratulations on the win. We'll see you next Friday against Yankton.
Thank you.
Houston Lundy, the part of the offensive line, Gunnar Gehring and Houston Lundy joining us here, as well as McGuire Rasky. And now we'll turn things over to the head coach and Steve Steele. And Coach, first off, congratulations on the win, 24-14 over West Central here tonight. One of the toughest regular season games that you guys have had in the last couple of years, but West Central is a really good team, and you guys played really well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's first and foremost the thing that was good is they were a really good football team, and they came out and had a great game plan. I mean, that first half was entirely West Central football. We did not play our style. We played entirely to their level that first half, and they felt really good going into halftime. So you've got to give those guys a lot of credit. And it was a lot of fun, and I think it was very valuable, that we're able to have this game and be challenged, because that the locker room kind of felt like the Brookings State Championship game where everyone was just, what's going on? And I'm very happy that we're able to get these challenges now and get this team rolling. This really needs to be a wake up call for us that we can't come out flat. We can't come out and play a first half to our opponent's style and in our opponent's speed. We've just got to come out and play our game.
Your team has started slow the last 2 weeks. First quarter has not been friendly to either of the last 2 weeks. Maybe talk a little bit about the adjustments you made at halftime, and then talk about what do you need to do going forward to get off to a quicker start.
I think the big thing was, we kind of felt like, and we're still kind of in that mode of, we think we can go for it right away. We think we can score so quick, and I just don't know. I don't know that we need to do that as much. I think that you've really seen that when we've really gotten in a rhythm, and found our pace and stuff, it's not necessarily, 40 yards, 30 yards, 20 yards. It's when we're able to crank out those 6 to 10 yard plays, line up and run another 6 to 10 yard play, and that's kind of how I think that these first 2 weeks we've been able to establish our bigger plays is by kind of, denting and then finding a hole. So just a little bit different team, and I think that's kind of how we have been in the past. We spend those first few games trying to find out who we really are and what we're really good at. And, I think we're starting to learn a little bit more and more, and hopefully that helps us speed up a little bit more.
And you mentioned that too, because last year you had a drive in the state championship against Brookings that took over 10 plays, and really outside that, there might have been maybe 1 or 2 drives the entire year where you took more than 10 plays. The first scoring drive here tonight, you had a 14-play drive that went 91 yards. Mm-hmm. And again, everybody wants to compare 2019 to how 2020 is starting and then through the entire year. But that's just, you can't do that. It's 2 different teams. And this, it looks like the identity of 2020 Pierre is, let's take the ball, let's get yard after yard, and let's not go down and try and score on one play.
Yeah, we've just got to be content to do that. We've got to realize who we are and what we're good at. And, like I said, as time goes on and we start to learn more and more about this team, that's been a really big strength. This is a really big, resilient group. And I think our offensive line has continued to build as the game's gone on both weeks. That's one thing I've really enjoyed is kind of watching their physicality amp up as the game went on and just slowly take over. And I said, this is an opponent tonight where their style of offense is also designed to do that very thing, where their offensive line is supposed to wear on you, and then eventually break through and take over the game. So it was really good to see our big boys up front on both sides of the ball win that fight, because, again, no mistake about it, it was a fight tonight.
Mm-hmm. And again, I think that was a real key, that long drive. That really kind of kind of grabbed the momentum back that West Central had early on in the game. And a lot of that was just due to the credit of that offensive line. And that's one thing I think coming into the season that I had maybe not a question about, but I just wanted to see how they were going to develop. And they have really done a nice job. McGuire Rasky's been the beneficiary of some really great offensive line play in these first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and that's going to have to be the story of the season. I think we've got realistically 7 guys that we feel pretty good about up front, and not going into the season with 7 guys competing for 5 spots. A lot of guys move around quite a bit. There's a lot of well, you're going to play here, and we're going to try this combination. We're going to try this combination, and unfortunately, the offensive line is just not meant to be that way. You want to put your best combination out there and then let it grow. And I think that the longer this group gets to grow and just kind of develop that camaraderie, that chemistry, the know-how of I know exactly how you're going to block, so I know how I have to adjust my footwork and work together, the better we're going to be, because it's such a unique position in the sense that it's not one guy making a play. It's 5 guys that have to work together to block 5 other guys ideally. So it's not something where you can really mix it up all the time, and camaraderie and chemistry means so much in that position that I just think we'll continue to build in it as the year goes.
And talk about the defense here, too, because this, again, tied at 7-7 at halftime. Defense last year in the second half was really outside state championship game, was not tested in the second half, and they came out and had to get a stop and keep the game tied. It did not happen all last year where they were trying to get stops after the first drive of the game if they got the ball to start with, that they were trying to keep a team from taking the lead on Pierre, and they got a goal line stand late in the first half. They get a stop here in the second half, and they played really well, allowing just one drive for West Central to score. Yeah, the other touchdown was a kickoff return, but this defense was really good again tonight.
Yeah, they were, and we put them in a few really bad spots. The bad snap on the punt really gave them a short field, and they had a drive where they were able to get all the way down close inside the 10, I believe, and to come out with nothing. So. I think that was just such a great job by our defense in that idea of, again, hey, you can get all the way down here, but you still didn't put it in the end zone. And, still giving up 7 points, theoretically speaking, our defense, we should still win a lot of games if we give up 7 points. And, the bar is just so high on this side of the ball and really on both sides of the ball for this team that, everyone's jumping and climbing and trying to find a way to get there, when in reality, we just got to understand where we're at, what we're good at, and keep honing in on that. And, it's a lot of high pressure situations. I mean, we haven't been trailing in a long time in a football game, and to be tied with them having the ball wherever they had it inside the 10, that's a lot of resiliency to go out there and to, do your job so that we don't ever go behind.
We'll see the tackle numbers a little later in the week, but last week we really saw how big of a game Gunnar Gehring, Preston Taylor, Jacob Beestrom had up front for you. I'm not sure that they had a lot of tackles. Didn't see their numbers called a lot, but what they did, at least from my perspective tonight, was they really clogged up that offensive line. That's a big offensive line that West Central had, and it really freed up your linebackers. Josh Roush made a couple of really nice plays tonight. Reagan Bolwig made a couple of plays coming off the edge, as did McGuire Rasky. Really freed up your linebackers to make the plays tonight.
Yeah, and when you play this style of offense, I mean, your D line realistically aren't going to have much for stats, and they're all okay with that, which is great because that means they're team players, and the job of them in this is to eat up as many other 5 linemen as they possibly can. If those 3 guys can eat up 5, then obviously we're going to have a few guys running free to make some tackles, and they did a really good job of that for the most part. I think we had a couple initially. I think that everyone was a little shocked, how physical their offensive line was. I think it took our guys a couple drives to really kind of get their feet under them. And then again, you kind of saw everyone give just a little and then just continue to push back until we were able to take over.
So as we get to the end of week 2 here, week 3 at Yankton next Friday, talk about them, the early of what you've seen from them.
Well, I said, we'll have to see what we do on film with them. But, I'm sure they're a very improved team from last year. They didn't lose too many guys again from last year, kind of like West Central. They'll be another year ahead in their scheme. I think realistically, offensively, they're maybe replacing their running back and a lineman, so most of them are back. But, they're going to be kind of the exact opposite of what we just saw today defensively. I mean, they're going to be a lot more wide open, spread it around, throw it around, get the ball to the edge. They're going to be a lot more similar to our style of play offensively. And then defensively, they're a lot more vanilla than what we saw today. So kind of a polar opposite opponent next week down there.
Does that what does that do now for you guys at game planning? How difficult is it to do that? Go from polar out. I mean, Sturgis wasn't an option play, but they didn't throw the ball around. This team ran a lot more than what Sturgis did, but to be polar opposite from week 2 to week 3, how difficult is that to prepare from week 2 to week 3?
For me, I like it a lot because they're only going to have one main front as opposed to 3 that we saw tonight. So I'll have a much easier week in that sense, at least schematically. But from Lewis's end, from the defense's end, it's just different because, with this team, it's so much focusing on the keys. How are we going to mess their keys up? How are we going to make sure we tackle guys? And this next week, it's going to be how do we line up to the plethora of formations we're going to find, and how do we cover these guys running around all over the place? And it's a complete mindset flip. Of course, Thorson's going to be doing a lot more pass work this week than this week he was pretty bored. He's like, here's our 3 pass plays that we'll see from them. Let's run them for 5 minutes and call it good, and get back to the run. So it'll be a little different practice week, but I said it's always, that's another fun part of the season is the changes that come.
That was good for Coach Thorson to get some work here this week. Coach, congratulations on the win.
One more thing. Any injuries coming out of tonight, Coach?
Nope. We came out pretty healthy, so hopefully we continue that way.
That's a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on the win. We'll see Wednesday at Coach's Corner and next Friday in Yankton.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Head coach Steve Steele, the victorious Pierre Governors, they win 24-14 as they are now 2-0 on the season. Again, that will just about do it here from Hollister Field. Greg, you got a couple more score updates before we send things off.
We'll run around Class 11A. These are mostly finals. St. Thomas More shuts out Sturgis 16-0. That's a final. Late in the fourth quarter, Mitchell leading Sioux Falls Christian 33-20. Midway through the fourth quarter, Huron over Millbank 30-0. Next week's opponent for the Governors, Yankton, late in the fourth quarter, leading Dakota Valley 51-15. Custer blanks Spearfish 40-0. Brookings at the beginning of the fourth quarter up over Lennox 27-0. And Douglas big over Belfouche tonight. That game is almost final. Douglas ahead 47-21. Stanley County has defeated Bennett County 34-0. And the last update I had from the Sully Buttes, they were up 8-6 at halftime. Midway through the fourth quarter, Sully Buttes is up 24-20 over Potter County.
And you can catch the end of that one over on Country 95.3 and PureCountry.com as that will wrap things up for us. DT Meyer, Lewis Hofer have the conclusion of that call over there. We'll try and get out to the car pretty quick so we can finish listening to that one, or I guess on our KCCR app we'll be able to listen to that one finish out. But the Pierre Governors win tonight 24-14 thanks to Greg Dean. That's to my left. I'm John Winkler, back on the air next Friday for week 3 at around 6:30 for a pregame of the Governors taking on the Yankton Bucks. Tomorrow we're going to have Pierre Governor Soccer for you. It will start around 8:45 with the kickoff at 9 o'clock of the girls match, and then at 11 o'clock for the boys contest against Rapid City Central, as we'll have plenty of Pierre Governor sports for you here over this weekend and into next weekend. Have a happy Labor Day weekend. Enjoy Monday off, and we will see you next Friday. Actually, we'll see you tomorrow morning as the Governor soccer teams take on Rapid City Central. For Greg Dean to my left, I'm John Winkler. 24-14, Governors, they beat West Central here tonight to move 2-0 as we say good night from Hollister Field.